If you're the tallest, the smallest, if you beat them all. If you're the fattest, the thinnest, if you always win. If you're the fastest, the slowest, if you really go, then you're a record breaker, a record maker. You're a record breaker. If you're the best, the worst, longest immersed. If you're the base, the ace, furthest in space. If you can score more than ever before, then you're a record breaker. You're a record maker. You're a record breaker. If you can fly like a bird, if you can play the highest note ever heard, if you could swim the Atlantic, then the records, they would go frantic. If you're the rarest, the fairest, grown the longest hair, if you're the oldest, the boldest, got the most gold, if you're the newest, the fewest, largest tattoo, then you're a record breaker. You're a record maker. You're a record breaker. If you could lift 20 tons, if you could score 99,000 runs, the whole sporting world would applaud it. The McWhirters, they would record it. If you're the wildest, the mildest, cleverest child, if you're the strongest, longest, never been wrong, if you're the latest, the greatest, then you can state that you're a record breaker. You're a record maker. You're a record breaker.
Hello and welcome to the HomeBhoys live phone-in show here on a Monday night, Monday the February the 3rd. Tonight's show was called Record Breakers, and that was the old 1970s original theme tune to Record Breakers in honour of Fraser Forster, who we'll get into talking about later on. I'm of course Joe McKenna, back from the well, here to brighten up the show again tonight. I heard last week was a bit of a disaster, but sure, what can you do? We're gonna waste no time here tonight because there's so much to talk about tonight. We got a guest coming on 8:30 who we'll talk about now in a second as well. First off, the usual suspects are here. The one and only Mr. Jason Higgins.
Hey, Dad.
Paul Largan.
Hello.
The busiest man, the busiest writer in Scotland.
Tell me about
it. And I'm of course Joe McKenna. Harper will be with us as soon as he's finished eating his dinner. Harper had the day off and still got his dinner made for him.
Aye.
That's unbelievable.
That's a real man.
I mean,
Aye.
What do you say? I mean, I haven't even had dinner yet. So, we'll talk about the game yesterday. 1-0 win. Yesterday's game should have been at least 4, right? Given the amount of chances. It was so dominant. One thing that stood out in that game for me was the debut of Stefan Johansson, who he just looks complete, all about business. Another goal from Commons. Is everybody just backing Chris Commons now for first goal?
He was down to 2-1 yesterday, so the bookies are learning.
Yeah, that's how many goals is that now? That's 20 league goals.
Yeah, and I think it's 13. He's been first goal scorer this season.
That's ridiculous. Oh, that's brilliant. So it was a good game. You were both there. Freezing, you saying it was, Jason?
Aye, it was Baltic, and my daughter, and she took her pal with her, and two of them troopers stayed right to the end. I'd really built up the Fraser Forster record to them, how this is a special moment and a special moment in Celtic's history, and the two of them were buzzing, see, even in the last 5 minutes. They were like, getting like, ooh, when the ball was in our box. I was myself. But no, I really enjoyed it, and I thought the second half flew in, and I know a lot of people are moaning about the performance, and I actually thought the performance was pretty good. Thought Johansson was brilliant. He stepped right into Ledley's position and looks an improvement for Ledley.
Yeah.
I thought Stokes had a bit of a tough game, it just wasn't going for him in that one at the end when he should have put Boricta. But he's a striker, but it just sort of he's playing with it a lot of confidence. You can tell he's always taking a touch, whereas if you're playing with loads of confidence, you just swing the leg at it, and obviously when you take a touch, the defence can get back on you. So I think Big Foster only had one save to make in the first half. He get a comfortable stop, but a few nervous moments at the end. They had a couple of corners and stuff like that. But I thought Celtic were very comfortable. I thought Charlie Mulgrew played really well. He pushed up the park. But I was delighted to see Johansson and young Darnell Fisher. He's getting better every week. So, it was 1-0, and obviously you can complain about stuff, but I still enjoyed it, and I'm delighted for Big Fraser Forster, because that's him. He is a Celtic legend, and nobody can take that away from him. He's achieved something that it's 90 years or something since that record stood at Celtic Park. So it's all right, people saying Boric was a better goal with this and that. He's got it done in black and white that he's achieved this, no matter what the opposition is, and he's definitely been held behind one of the best central defenders I've ever seen at Celtic Park.
Big
Virgil van Dijk in front of him. Aye, fantastic. I like Effie Ambrose as well, and I was a bit worried at the transfer market. I know it's Sky Sports nonsense, but we're saying Fulham was in for a bid to Ambrose, and I wasn't on that at all. But Joe Ledley's gone, so he leaves with our best wishes. But Johansson looks more than a match for what Ledley brought to the table. I was really, really pleased with him. And obviously he's new, so he's buzzing about, he's delighted, but he's just got something about him, and I really, really enjoyed watching him. It was happy days. I really enjoyed myself yesterday. It was freezing.
He looks like a really tenacious and driven player, Johansson. Like he's out there to get his job done, You just see that in him.
And he's everywhere.
Absolutely, aye.
Aye.
And he'll get stuck in. You can see he's a guy who likes to get stuck in as well. Paul, yourself, what was your takings on the game? I mean, you were obviously there as well.
Very similar. I mean, I think Fraser Forster. If there's a better goalkeeper in British football, I've not seen him. I mean, they say. I think there was a one save the second half of Josh McGuinness when he ran through, and again he's there. And it's an incredible achievement. I mean, I don't think you can underestimate in any shape or form what it's actually like today's many clean sheets as that in a row. It's just absolutely incredible, and it's full credit to him, the team, defenders in front of him. I think, as obviously he's mentioned Van Dijk, Ambrose, I think Kazagiri's back to his best, and we never talked about him anymore because he's just back to his best. As you say, Fisher just looks like he's been playing for years. Johansson, different class, got better and better as the game went on. As you said, Joe, he's got a bit of character to him. I know he doesn't take any nonsense. Jim Goodwin, spent a lot of time trying to rattle him. Didn't bother him in the slightest, which I thought was really, really good. Stokes, terrible game. There's no getting away for that. I mean, it was just amplified by that miss at the end. And he said after he didn't see Boric turn on that, which I'm sure the manager would be tearing his hair out about. But no, I think, like what Jason said with his daughter and her pal and stuff, is that the edge of no conceding a goal is really keeping the thing ticking over now.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're 5, 6, 7-0, whatever up, you didn't want to concede a goal. Yeah. And that's the standards we set. I remember, we had a huge Barney on this show after we got beat at Motherwell last season in April about the standards and this, and even though it's the end of the season, we've already won the league and people phone up and that kind of thing. Well, whatever happened, it worked, because that's the last league game we lost. And I echo what Jason says. I'm really enjoying it now, and it's good that a lot of people seem to be looking forward to go to the games and that as well. Just now, and I think the team's playing with such confidence now. I really do. And as you say, Van Dijk. Jesus Christ. We sold Wanyama last season for £12 million, and I'd be honest, I don't. Wanyama's a fantastic player, but he's not even in close to Van Dijk's class.
Van Dijk's just, he's special. And he's not going to. He won't stick around long. He's that good. You can just see that. But for the time being, he's an absolute revelation. Like, I think I've ever seen a central defender playing for us that plays like he does, goes forward, looks comfortable, has incredible skill on the ball, can take free kicks, is great in the air. Players just bounce off him. Same way Wanyama was. The players just bounce off him trying to get the ball off him. But he just looks a lot more sturdier and a lot more skilled than any player I've seen like that.
And corners and free kicks he wins every header.
Yeah.
Every single header that comes in that box, he's got his head on it. And anybody's ever played football life will tell you that's just demoralising for a team attacking if somebody keeps heading the ball away. You see him. Goodwin spent a lot of the first half just trying to maim Celtic players as he always does, and he tried to date Van Dijk, and he literally bounced off him second best. And then Van Dijk, somebody else kind of, and he bounced off him and on, boom. The guy is absolute different class. I mean, he goes far to say he's almost flawless because he has got everything. I mean, he's got pace, height, power. He reads the game brilliantly. He helps his teammates out if they get into a fine call. He tells people when they've done something wrong, but he also encourages them when they've done something right. So, real top quality player. Like,
do you know one thing I was a wee bit disappointed, and obviously we'll discuss it later, Joe. But we've got a guest coming on at 8:30. If anybody can remember back to the Green Brigade special that we done last year, one of the lads, Paul from it, he's heavily involved with the Fans Against Criminalisation campaign, so he's going to be joining us at 8:30, and he can give us a wee bit of background to the news that the boys they're releasing a single next week, and just tell us a bit more about it and what's happening with the Fans Against Criminalisation movement, and they can obviously maybe let us know what's happening with the Green Brigade and stuff like that. So look forward to get Paul on at 8:30. But one thing I was a bit disappointed in yesterday was the lack of celebrating at the end for big Fraser Forster. Stayed in and gave him a couple of cheers and things like that. But if the Green Brigade had been there, that they would have done something. There'd have been something the big man would have treasured forever. But it was kind of sort of lacklustre, would you think, Paul, at the end? It was like everybody was cheering and stuff, but it wasn't like I thought it deserved more.
Even the players I thought were a bit muted towards them. I think Van Dijk went over and congratulated, and the rest of them just kind of strolled off. And I mean, I'm pretty sure that 90% of that stadium towards the last 10 minutes, that's all they had on their mind was, to break this record. So, and I know they announced it and stuff, but I suppose it's one of these things where, if it was due to me, I'd be a bit like, oh God, didn't tempt fate or anything like that. But
I suppose
it's an absolutely colossal. I mean, when you look at some of the other goalies in there, I mean, Charlie Shaw actually had 2 records, Rab Douglas, people like that. When he got 7 games that they've done, I mean, it's mind-boggling, and it's not like he's been standing there, just on his jack, no having to save anything. I mean, he's really earned it in the last, certainly Easter Road, and then certainly yesterday. I know,
Yeah. Harper, you're here.
All right, man.
Oh, by the way, I may as well tell people. I forgot to tell people. If you want to contact us tonight, it's the usual. I get sick of saying this, to be honest with you. Call us up on Skype, right? Go on Skype, download it. It's easy to use. Most computers have it built in anyway at this stage, or they should do. Homeboys on Skype, add us in as a contact, and we'll add you in, and then you can call us up, add into the end of the call. Other ways, you can call the Homeboys landline, telephone number 0141 356 7327, and that's the cost you a Glasgow landline. So there you go. That's that part done, and you can hit us on Twitter and all that stuff as well. So Harper, what was your take on the game yesterday, or did you see much of the game?
I never seen any of the game.
Why?
I came in and I fell asleep.
Right, cut him off.
I got home at 2:30. I was meant to go up to the pub and I fell asleep sitting on the couch.
And it's tough down in the pits.
I woke up and I said, hey man, you're on that face. It's no easy, like.
Can you know just to get the BBC website up and tell lies?
Huh?
Pretended you watched it.
I don't tell lies, man.
I know, mate, I know. Well, just kid on with the TikTok show then. Tell us what you had for your dinner. Because they're always talking about what biscuits they're eating and things like that. I've just finished a wee dairy milk there and it was lovely, by the way. So what did you have for your dinner?
I had chicken breast, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and some other green stuff. I can't remember what it was. Cheese sauce.
Are you on the healthy eating now, yeah?
I joined Slimming World 2 weeks ago.
How's it going?
I've lost, I just weighed myself there, I've lost 8.5 pounds 2 weeks.
Jesus, what? Lady?
That's brilliant.
Just there, half a stone, is it?
That's excellent.
I've joined Chubby World. I'm just getting fucking fatter and fatter.
I thought it was a dating website you were talking about.
Oh, we've been joined by our first caller, Brendan.
How you doing, boys? You alright?
Not too bad, how are you?
I've been waiting you phoning in, mate. Give me abuse. On you go.
Not at all, JC. Not at all. So, no, I'm just thinking. Now they've got this record in the bag. You think I might see 2 or 3 young boys get a run now between the end of the season? I mean, I'm not bothered about the unbeaten run. Obviously, the league's won. Forster's got the clean sheet record. It'd be nice to see a couple of the younger boys, given a shot. What do you think?
I reckon Leigh Griffiths is walking straight into the team.
Yeah,
definitely.
He's got to, but I wouldn't be adverse to that. But the thing is, you've got Johansson, he's going to be playing. I can't see him dropping Brown. Forrest is going to play if fit, so it doesn't drop Mulgrew. So I don't really know. I think it's a big thing, this record, and it's to keep it going as long as possible. I think it's the edge that we've been crying out for, to be honest with you.
Do you think Leigh Griffiths was in the stand there at the weekend, and after when Stokes had that miss, just thinking to himself, "Oh, I can't wait to get out there." You know what I mean? Because he can see that Stokes isn't firing all guns, like. No.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he just can't wait to get out there anyway. I think the boy is over the moon. I think his interviews have been brilliant, and he's said all the right stuff. And I just love how he still admits he's a Hibs supporter, and that'll never change, and he'll always be a Hibby. But he's been the biggest club in Scotland now, and he just can't wait to go out and score goals. That's all I want him to hear. That's all I want to hear from him, and I just want him to go out and do the business.
To be fair, Paul the Tim did get to him first and tell him everything he was to say, like.
By the way, we'll need to get a show dedicated to me, Paul. It's phenomenal. Unbelievable.
Brilliant.
Like that picture with all the press.
Have you seen this, Brendan?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely. I follow him on Twitter. If you want to news about Celtic, he's a man to go to, isn't he?
He's a legend, man. He's an absolute legend.
Absolutely.
See that night with the transfer window, like, honestly, things kept popping up. I was in absolute stitches. I was waiting to get to my bed. I couldn't go to sleep. I wasn't the one worrying about the window shut. I was only one worrying about what Paul Tim was doing.
Yeah, somebody put a picture of him and Johansson on and said that Johansson was proud and happy to meet Paul Tim, wasn't he? Rather than the way around.
Big Baldy doesn't like his song, apparently.
Is that right?
He says because he was at the game the day before, like, he went Johansson at half time, and he got his picture with the Icelandic fella. I can never pronounce his name, Fred Johnson or whatever. And he was talking to the physio, and the physio says told him to tell the fans that Amido doesn't like his chant. So he wants a new song.
They were all rolling up balls near me since he came on. My daughter was pissing herself. Well, no, she wouldn't say the word pissing, but my daughter and her pal were chuckling away at the chant. But I thought he looked okay when he came on. A couple of no bad touches, but as I say, giving the big boy 5-10 minutes, he's not going to do much, is he?
No.
So what do you think, Brendan?
See what you just said, Brendan? He's somebody I would like to actually see get a run.
Baldy?
Yeah, I would.
Right.
So Brendan, what do you reckon, mate, about young boys? Do you think there's any young boys should be getting a run? Because he's getting a few of them on the bench now.
Yeah, but he's put a few out to learn, isn't he? That's tragic. I was looking forward to seeing him getting a bit of a run. So as what I've seen him in the past, I thought, yeah, he's one for the future. But he's gone to is it Shrewsbury he's gone to? Which is a strange choice. I thought you might have kept him and give him a few games. I mean, we know the league's in the bag. The unbeaten run, yeah. I mean, you can say, yeah, let's get unbeaten throughout the season. I think for me the biggest thing was the clean sheet for Forster and that. That's not going to bed.
See the thing about a tragic, right? He obviously knew. Well, he knew he was bringing a striker in, so he knew Leigh Griffiths was going to be coming in. And I think he was after going Turkey as well. It fell through, so the chances for a tragic getting into the team are probably slim anyway. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, say getting into the team, I'm on about just give him a run at Harper. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Between now and the end of the season.
I totally agree.
We've got to bring these boys on, haven't we? Give them a sniff for the first team. Otherwise, what's the point in them being there?
I know. I totally agree with you. Like, it's still going to be the same for weeks, but I can see that's probably why Lennon's probably thought, well, if he goes down there, he's going to get minutes in games, like, no. So
here's something. I mean, I know Tony Watt had a great weekend. His team beat Anderlecht and he scored, and it was great news for the boy. But have we ever sent anyone out on loan and he's come back and been a resounding success? Well, I know Liam Miller was out on loan in Scandinavia and he come back and then they played, but he was injured for years. But has anyone else come back and they've been like a success?
No.
We've sent out on loan.
Not I can think of.
No.
Charlie Mulgrew maybe could fall into that. I mean,
we sold him, but
he left and came back. But no, not really. Like, no. You think about some of the players, like you should get Paul McGowan in the team. The boy's brilliant. Well, he's just an average player. I mean, he's a decent player for St Mirren. But when you see these boys to go to these clubs, they're no any great shakes like that.
But then again, you can't be discounting Bangura. He's back. Right?
He's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
Is he gone?
Free
Paid him off,
transfer.
haven't they? Paid him off.
You've been hiding then, Joe.
I have been hammered into this.
I think the Pirate will be a bit disappointed about Bangor going, won't he?
Here, the Pirates.
He's probably in IKEA. What are you, Joe?
The Pirates are always disappointed.
We're probably in IKEA. What are you, Joe?
I'm going to IKEA on Wednesday. What's wrong with that? You trying to have some sort of wee jab with me?
Listen, boys. I've got to go anyway. I was only coming in quick because Vicky's Skype my pal at 8 o'clock. We're having a wine session for my birthday, so on Skype. So I just came on quick just to say have a good show and that, and I'm going to listen in like to your man coming on at 8:30. And I urge anybody who's listening, if you've got questions, call into your man and ask your questions and get involved. You know what I mean? And Paul, just before I go, I listened to your interview with Graham. So anybody who's listening to this, get the Bout Beyond the Waves downloaded for the weekend there. Paul's interview was fantastic stuff. And I urge anybody who can put a wee donation in the website and get involved. But I'm sure you'll talk about that yourselves later on. But I just wanted to say I really enjoyed the.
Thanks, man.
Like, oh, it's good stuff.
I'll back that up. I listened to it on the way in on the train today, and I knew what you were talking about. As soon as he started talking about Archie, I was like, oh, here we go. And I was in the train, but they'll lump in the throat as well. So no, it was very, very good, Paul. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Great story, mate. And the old guy sounded like an absolute legend, man. Just it must have been a privilege to be his pal.
It was, definitely.
Aye.
I listened to the first hour, Paul, but then it cut off for some reason. So I've not caught up with the second bit yet. So I've got to download that and probably listen to that on the way to work tomorrow. Just going back to the game yesterday, I watched it on a stream on the computer.
Sorry, Brendan, can I just cut in? I'm just going to go, right? I'm just going to take myself out, lads. Right. Cheers.
All right, Harper. All the best, mate. See you.
Cheers.
Yeah, that chance at Stokes where he should have squared it to Barikta. I think that's the pressure of Griffiths coming on board because he knows that boy can score goals.
You could be onto something, but he just played the full game with much confidence. Did you not feel that yourself? Like he was always taking an extra touch.
It's hard to tell when you watch it on the stream because it keeps breaking down. It freezes or breaking down. But I just thought he's not past that. He wants to get himself on the score sheet. Because I think what you said is right, Jason. I think Saturday Griffiths starts. I think that was Stokes. You're trying to get his goal to. I've started. I played the 90 minutes. If I get a goal, it's a little bit harder for Lennon to drop me.
Well, I've had a tweet for a guy quite pal away, boy Napoleon on Twitter, and he says, is there any chance the regular first teamers are on appearance-based contracts, i.e. guaranteed places? What do you think of that? Paul, would you know anything about that?
I'm sure they will be, but they're not exactly a short of a bob or two. There was... we've got one guy that's been, I don't know what the hell's happening in Kyle. He's on 15k a week. When was the last time he kicked a ball for us?
I know.
It's there'll be, basically 3 or 4 tiers of Celtic players. The top earners of which we've just lost Joe Ledley, so that really only leaves kind of like Brown as a real top earner. Then there would be the sort of the middle earners at about between 15 and 20, and that's where you get Samaras and Kyle and Van Dijk and people like that. And then there'd be the ones that are on between about 9 and 13 grand a week, and that's where you'd come into your Stokes and people like that. And although I think Commons has probably jumped from being the bottom tier to the middle tier because he's got a new contract, and I think they're actually going to offer him a player coach role in his next contract, so that should be something to look out for.
Aye.
I'll be on appearance money.
Paul,
which is why, I don't know what you guys think, but if it was done to me, there's no way on earth Samaras would be in a squad again for me.
See, this is the thing, right? And sorry, Brendan, what was your point there, mate, before I go into my rant?
I just heard Paul say it. I never realised that Commons had signed another contract.
Has he signed an improved one, Paul?
They're offering an improved one, aye.
Aye, I think it's just a matter of time for him to sign it, Brendan. I think he's 100% going to do well. If you it's saying that his wife says he's going to sign it, and that, so there must be. But so the thing with Samaras, right? We've got him, and he's here, right? He's here for 6 months, and I think he's done really on the whole. I think he's done really well for us, and I think it's credit to Lennon. Neil for obviously finding him a position out in the left wing and not playing him as a forward, and I think he came into his own. So what if he knuckles down and starts producing his form again, and what if he signs a new deal? How would we feel then? Because I know we'd said last week his time's up, we were all hoping he would go and just leave, because I think it's a good bit of business what Celtic's done with Joe Ledley, and although I rated Joe Ledley, I think it's great to get anything and get him off the wage bill. So Samaras is here now, so say Samaras wants to sign, which I don't think he is. I think he's going to run his contract in and go and sign for somebody and pocket the cash, which is his entitlement to do. But do you think there's any chance he'll sign a new deal and knuckle down? Maybe he doesn't want to leave.
Well, you know what the problem I think of is how many players do we see coming towards the end of their contract who start playing really well, and then they sign the contract and then they never see them again. You know, a lot of them, and I think Samaras' time's at an end with Celtic. We're playing a different way.
I agree, mate. I agree.
You see the way, it was noticeable, the way Johansson, there's a guy, right, a young boy from Scandinavia comes over, his first team debut, and straight away he's taking the ball for defence, he's dictating the game, he's trying to make passes. It was totally different. I can't even remember the last time we had a player like that. It would be Lambert would have been the last kind of guy that would play like that, you know what I mean? And so what I think the challenge is going to be is what you'll see with Griffiths is that Griffiths will come in and play a role which is completely different to Stokes. Stokes is all about, how many times we see him, he gets the ball in the final third, takes it out wide, he looks up, he looks for the shot, the cross. Griffiths will get that ball within 30 yards and shoot.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Last season, he had more shots on target than anybody in the SPL. So that's what he's all about. And I think that, with that kind of guy like Johansson, this might be a really shrewd move by the management. Johansson looks like the kind of guy who's always looking for the through ball. And Griffiths is the kind of guy who's always running for the through ball. So, that might have been somewhere in the thinking, but in regards to Samaras, I don't know. It's a bit like, splitting up your bird and then suddenly she's like, oh, maybe I'll just stay after all. And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, Don't.
I kind of agree, Paul. His time's definitely up. It's just somebody posted that video. I'm scoring 2 at Ibrox, and I was getting all nostalgic. You're like, because he has done some. He's done some great stuff for us, but he's also been pathetic as well at times. But I want to leave with happy memories. But I just think he could sour it in this 6 months. If Lennon, because the crowd have turned on him. Right. There's no doubt about it. Nobody's got much time for him left. But there's no need to play him now, because if he's leaving, what's the point of even giving him any more runs out? He's got a World Cup to look forward to with Greece, and I take it they'll play him regardless whether he's playing well. But that's not our problem, no. And if he was really that desperate for first team football, he could have left. I'm just thinking maybe he wants to stay with Celtic. Maybe he's looked at his options. He's like, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't know.
I
wouldn't play him again, Jason.
Aye.
I think if he's going to sign a contract that had been signed in January, he kept his options open for as long as he could to see if somebody's going to come in for him. But I never seen anybody come in for him or make a concrete bid. I think he's a waste of a jersey now. And I'd put a young boy on the bench before him. And like I said, I like Samaras, but like Paul says, his time's up. What's the point? It's a dead man walking, isn't it?
Yeah. I think you're right the first time, though. I reckon he'd run his contract down, Jason. He'd go to the World Cup, and in between that, he'd probably end up somewhere like America.
Potentially. But no, I agree with you. I think his time's up myself. But it was a good point you made with Johansson, Paul, with Griffiths. But Johansson's definitely looking like something we've not seen at Celtic Park for a while. And I know it's the first game, you can get carried away. And everybody thought Richter was going to be brilliant after his first 60 minutes. But he was excellent, and his distribution was good. He good first touch on him. He played the right ball. And he always seemed to be in the right place at the right time. The old Neil Lennon ESP about him, and he just knew where to be. But as you say, he's probably about the nearest we've had to Lambert. I know it's a short space for 90 minutes. You can't really judge the guy, but no, it's all positive.
Of course, you can't say, he's good as Paul Lambert, but that's his style. I remember. I actually think the best game I ever saw Paul Lambert play was a game for Scotland against Germany in 2003. I think it was when Germany, when I won out, completely controlled the game, and Paul Lambert effectively just pushed Barry Ferguson out of the way and said, "Listen, I'll take control here," and then Scotland ended up getting a draw. And Johansson's got that. Twice I've seen him just push players out the way as if to say, "Right, out my way, get on with it. Let's take a free kick," that kind of thing. And I just think for a debut, you can always kind of tell with players, Nakamura, Lubo, you know, I'm not saying he's in that class, but straight away you can say, aye, something about him, like, you know. And, you know, he was another one just like that, you know.
We've been joined by Alistair. Alistair, are you there?
I'm here, buddy, aye.
We've lost Jason here just real quickly. I'm trying to get Jason back. How are you doing, Alistair?
No worries, mate. But, no, it was just you were talking about Samaras game there. I mean, two things that tells me that Samaras is away. Two main things. The last contract he signed it not long after Ibrox.
When he scored 3 goals.
And I think he promised Lennon the last time, look, I'll not sign a pre-contract. And he signed the deal not long after that game, if you recall. And the second thing is, I've said Baracta can get on before Samaras. I don't think I've seen him take a man on yet, but no, I think Samaras' time's up. And I think Lennon knows that. That's how he never got on yesterday.
I feel bad for Per Baracta though, in fairness. Like, I mean, now I thought he'd be great, and he turned out to be a bit of a, you know, bit of a no mark. But Samaras, fairness, I think everybody's right. It's time for him to go. I think he's going to end up just taking a payday somewhere after this, somewhere nice and cushy, and run down his career. And God bless him. Listen, he wasn't exactly Pele, but I mean, he could do the job. He didn't always do the job, but he could do the job. You know.
Thing is, Joe, you see that bench yesterday? You've got Samaras, Pukki, Borektor, Baldi. I mean, how much a week are they getting?
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
And how much have they cost as well? You know, transfers. There's a lot of money there, isn't there?
You're right, Brendan. I know I think that goes back to your point. I mean, about the younger guys. I mean, I know a lot of them are about on loan, but if Liam Henderson just saying a new contract, that's a boy I want to see straight away. You know, I mean, he just. It was a bit like Jackson Irvine, fantastic against Liverpool in Dublin, and then boom, he's away to Kilmarnock for a year. You know, I'm not sure it's beneficial for any player playing for Celtic to go to play for Kilmarnock. I mean, you've just got to come. You're going to go down to their level. You know what I mean?
Completely.
I mean, is it to do with age or is it experience? I mean, how old is Amido Balde?
Oh, 22.
Right, how old is someone like Liam Henderson?
I think it's to do with trust.
You what?
All the time. Leonard doesn't obviously think you can trust him yet, right or wrong. That's what I think. But he's never going to know unless he gives him a chance.
I don't know. Listen, we can keep flogging this. I mean, because he makes the decisions. So whether or not we want to see young fellas, of no consequence. But even just one or two would be nice, though. You know what I mean, because it's something that Celtic fans are very, very fond of, is seeing young guys come through, or just seeing young guys get a chance. You know what I mean? And when you're not seeing it, it kind of it takes something away from you. I don't know. Jason, are you back?
Aye, my Skype went. I don't know, to turn it off and on and reboot it. So.
Aye, no bother. Alistair's on the phone.
How you doing, mate? You alright, Ali?
Alright, west of the alley, by the way.
Aye, Super Ali. How's it?
Otherwise, I'll start talking about last week's Merseyside derby.
Oh, here we go. What can I say?
No, but guys, I'll give you a good one for Saturday. Wee bit of interest for Saturday if you're interested. I worked it out. If we keep a clean sheet for 91 minutes, we beat Big Woods' record. So that's a nice one for Saturday, so hopefully we keep a clean sheet. Always nice to take old records last Sevco, but that'd be nice.
So what do you mean, Woods? Is Fraser, have they got did Chris Woods go longer than Fraser Forster's went just now?
Well, he's 91 minutes away from it, Jason. So
alright, okay.
Basically, if he keeps a clean sheet on Saturday, he'll get it.
Is that including cup games?
Aye.
Alistair, who was it? Who scored the goal that ended the record?
The guy for Hamilton.
Yes. Adrian
Sprott.
Aye.
And who did Celtic play the Sunday? They played in the Saturday. Who did we play in the Sunday? I'll take a guess. Harper. Nah, we played Aberdeen at Pataudry because I can always mind get in.
I'm not that old, Jason.
We played that. I can always mind getting into Aberdeen and somebody'd spray paint it in the wall. Aki's the new Ibrox disaster. I did obviously. You don't mean anything to do with the deaths and stuff like that. But I thought it was quite funny, you know. But
can I just say, do you think the Carolyn and started the Aberdeen lads to the gate?
I would like to think so, and because we've not touched that yet. But obviously, Neil, have you touched it while I was off?
Oh no.
So obviously, we've not touched that, Alistair, yet about the disgraceful treatment of Neil Lennon up at Tynecastle. So I think everybody knows what happened, and he was sitting among Aberdeen supporters, and he was spat on, coins threw at him, abused to leave the stadium, and I just find it incredible.
Somebody threw a drink at him. So having somebody when he decided to leave, a drink threw over his head and hit some journalist or something.
Yeah.
How about it was Tom English?
No, it's Graham Spears.
But it's disgusting. But it's the vile environment that we live in, you know. And
I know
it is all one way. See all this, you know, and it's people don't deal with it. They just sweep it under the carpet. And see if that was Jose Mourinho, that'd been ITN news, headline news. If he was getting abused because folk in England hated Portuguese folk.
Yep. It's amazing, isn't it? Like it's kind of brushed under the carpet. It's almost kind of like just the norm now. Like, oh yeah, Neil Lennon's going to attack again. You know what I mean? So
I brings it on itself.
Graham Spears' comments. I don't know if you've heard them, but they were an absolute disgrace that he was allowed to say the airwave.
See, be fair, I did listen to the full thing, and he qualified his comments. I don't know if you listened to the full thing, because see near the end of I listened to the podcast last night, and he sort of qualified his comments, and basically what he said was, I don't quote me on this, but what he said was, he says, what I mean is Neil Lennon doesn't put up with any shit. He says Neil Lennon gets abhorrent abuse, and he says it's disgusting, but he says one thing about Neil Lennon is he doesn't lie down to it, and he says he doesn't take any shit, and he says these people can't handle this. So
there's always a caveat, isn't there, Jason? Rather than come out and condemn it for what it is.
Oh, he did condemn it.
Yeah, I know he did, but it's never like it's always. They always put something in there just to appease the dark side.
There's always a but.
Yeah, I know. You're right, Brendan.
See with him, Brendan, I actually don't think he did that. I think he's maybe made an arse of the comments at first, but towards the end of it, I kind of agree with him, because Lennon doesn't lie down to them.
No, you know, he's an intelligent guy, Jason. He boxed himself into a corner. We had to say that.
Probably. You could be right. You could be right, mate. Could be right.
If he didn't want to say that, he'd have made himself look a bigger cunt than he is.
You're probably right, mate. You know, and aye.
Well, I heard what Jason was talking about, and he said that he attracts it. And when he was asked at first, what do you mean by that? He said he's a controversial character. Now, that's the issue for me. What he should say there is he's a successful Irish Catholic in Scotland.
Aye, you're right, Paul. You're right.
But I also thought Chick Young was a disgrace as well after the game yesterday, where he asked him about it, and he says, "Oh, this is what happened, blah blah." And he says, "Oh, was it sectarian?" What difference does it make? You know, if a guy beats me up, it doesn't matter if he was 6 foot tall or 5'5". I got beat up. You know what I mean?
Aye.
But they paint it. Oh, all right. So it wasn't sectarian. Neil, that's fine. You know, it's like it doesn't matter. Fuck. I mean, you've got if people can say. If they want to hide behind the nonsense that it's no something to do with the fact that he's Irish or he plays, this is what happened. So was this sectarian?
Sorry, bit of intrusion there.
If they want to hide behind all that nonsense and say, oh, it's because he's antics on the touchline and all that kind of thing, the guy sitting next to him, Billy Brown, is an absolute raving lunatic on the touchline, and nobody was abusing him.
Aye.
Anyway, I just hope Inverness win that League Cup final.
Aye. The Jambos must be utterly sick.
Can I just say, Paul Larkin,
yes.
Major respect, by the way, I got tear in my eye listening to that podcast on Saturday there. Bloody brilliant, mate. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And,
tell me something, Alistair. See, before you go, mate, see the new disabled section. Are you in that now? No,
Jason, I'm at the jock stand. I'm at the main stand, the South Forward, by the way, but I ken the guy is
They done his wee
the
bit at
guy
half
who was up
time.
on the big screen yesterday, Peter Joyce. I ken a lot of they guys, aye.
Aye.
So, no before time, but no, it'll be good, especially going for cover, like, you know, get up
Aye.
to the work, it'll be good. But
Right.
but no, guys, it was just, I'd just like to qualify, I was absolutely, Amido Baldi's know exactly my favourite players in it, and Paul knows why. I was sitting, waiting for the full-time whistle to go, count my winnings, and he scores a goal. That I'd see nothing for the Kilmarnock game, and the very same thing happened to me Easter Road with the penalty. So I've not exactly had a good week when it comes to taking bets. So, no, but hopefully we do the business, and we're 4 clean sheets away from a European record. So
Is it 4?
4 games away from it. So there's something else for you, but all the best, boys, and I'll speak to you all soon, but hopefully we put 4 past the sheet and Saturday.
Hope so, mate.
That'd be nice. But I ain't got to be a good game on Saturday, you know that?
Aye, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. Plus the fact, see, because I'm not sitting in my own seat, and I'm doing that, I'm in the bottom tier on Saturday, obviously. I sit up the top, mate, in 402. So obviously I have to get a seat down the bottom, so it feels like a bit of like an away game, because you're not in your normal seat, but I'm looking forward to it.
Aye, well, see, that's the thing about Cup games. Why not tell folk that in seats?
Well, they can't, because they've shut the top tier.
I know, but I'm just saying, look, if you're a season ticket holder and you want your own seat, what's the problem? Well, being top tier or bottom tier? What's the point moving, folk?
Ah, well, they've took a decision, obviously. They've shut the top tier, so I can't get mine, see.
Oh, I know.
Is this game on Sky or is it on Council TV?
It might be on Council TV, mate.
It's on Sky.
Is it, Alistair? Are you sure?
Aye,
It's on Sky, Jason.
All right.
That's the one in the Saturday. The BBC supplies. I've seen that other mob on a Friday night.
Who do they play?
Couldn't tell you, Jason.
Who have they got in the cup?
I couldn't
know.
tell you.
I bet you could.
I could.
Aye, you're at it.
I might be for sure, but I'm not interested in them.
Aye. Well, there you go.
But no, Jason, honestly, I couldn't tell you.
All right. All they can beat anyway.
Whatever it is.
Ah, well. No,
Somebody said-
I don't want to play them again, to be honest with you.
There you go.
But,
You never know.
No, but I know they had games in the tele, but I couldn't tell you who they were playing. But honestly, I couldn't.
There you go.
All right, Alistair, mate. We're gonna let you go. We're gonna let you go, buddy, because we got somebody coming on now.
See you later, boys.
Hey, Alistair, the best, mate. Hail, hail.
Alright, bye.
Yeah, bud. Right. Sorry, somebody just put something in the chat room there. Oh, no, it doesn't matter. So, the Neil Lennon thing. The chick actually ask him that. Was it sectarian?
Yeah.
Of course it was fucking sectarian. What answer was he expecting? No, it's because I watch Coronation Street and the Aberdeen fans are more prone to EastEnders.
But how's Lennon going to answer that? Was it sectarian? What concept? If the guy doesn't say anything when he attacks him, how does Lennon know what it is?
I know, but it's kind of... It obviously is sectarian, you know what I mean?
I don't know, but I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's disgraceful.
I know. I'm just
and
saying.
it's like these, it beggars belief. I think one of the tabloids, I don't know any more of them, somebody posted it up on one of the Celtic websites that one of the tabloids had it in the front or back page, which is fair enough. But I just think it'd be headline TV news if it was in England and it was somebody like a German was getting racially abused, some German manager was getting attacked in the stands. But
if it was a black man, Jason, what would happen?
Oh, I know. Aye, absolutely. And rightly so, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Aye, and rightly so, but it's just acceptable here. And the the stuff that Neil Lennon has put up with to manage our football club, you know, it's incredible, and nobody should have to go through anything like that. Mm-hmm. But it's just about. I mean, I don't know how the guy's still here. To be perfectly honest with you.
You know, stuff like, where's the security and the stewards? People are throwing shit at him. I mean,
well, exactly. How many of them are getting dawn raids this morning?
Oh no!
You know, if that was a Green Brigade, you know, if they'd a flag it, there'd be 10 of them getting a dawn raid.
I know.
So how many Aberdeen doors get chapped this morning?
Not a single one. You can guarantee. James.
Hello.
What's happening?
I'm just recovering from a bad dose of bronchitis, so I've still got a wee toty cough on me. Obviously, the last few weeks I've been coughing away. There was no last week, but
thanks for the health update.
That's what I'm saying now. Get your health out of the way. Let's move on to the football.
My sex change has gone all right and all.
All right, that's good. We're about to call you Loretta now.
Stephanie.
Stephanie, right.
Aye. Just to say, obviously, the Sunday was a kind of letdown of the game, because you were expecting more after the Commander game, which I thought we were absolutely superb. They looked very nervous. You know, I don't know if they had this record on their mind for Sunday. But so obviously Stokes didn't have a good one, and you know, I don't know, we won anyway, and that's the main thing. It wasn't the greatest game, but we played brilliant football on the Wednesday, and I was happy with that. Obviously, it was just frustrating watching it on the telly. You're wanting us to keep the record, and you were getting nervous like everybody else when St Mirren were coming forward. So I'm glad. And just on the Neil Lennon thing, I was saying a couple of years ago when McGinn was getting it, McCourt, Nakamura and all this, it's actually become traditional to abuse and threaten Celtic players over the years. And it's kind of died a bit when the Huns died. But it seems to be coming back a bit. You know, and it's just, I don't know, Aberdeen just seemed to, I hated the Huns, and they're not there now, so they went for us, and we're getting it big style, and it's not on. It's an absolute disgrace.
Yeah.
No, definitely agree with you, mate. I mean, they created this "we hate Rangers more than you" myth, and like this kind of stuff. They try to find like a rival that wasn't there really, you know, and they sort of created it themselves. So maybe they're trying to create sort of rival with us now, which isn't really there either. But hopefully we give them a good shellacking on Saturday and send them north with their tails between their legs. But I'm really looking forward to it.
I think it'll be good. They're bringing a big support down here, so looking forward to it. But I just think the stuff with Neil Lennon, it's just getting on and on. And you think it died down there, you know, and it happens again. But I seen one of the tweets where one of the sheep were saying it's because he called them obviously sheep shaggers. But no, they were getting Neil Lennon abuse long before that, you know. You see to yourself, if we were doing, if the Green Brigade were doing abuse to one of their, and the abuse one of them were getting, as you said, we'd have been fucking well hammered. You know, it's an absolute disgrace.
Aye, definitely, absolutely.
Neil Lennon's biggest fan, and he's on his down a couple of times. It's not on, but what's happening to him? He's a family, he's a kids.
He's also praised you a ton of times as well.
Aye, I know, but what I'm saying is even when he's running his down in a bit, whatever, he's still got a family and he's still got kids. You know, that's the thing that gets me. It's his threats are real. You know, when he's a go, he has a go, and that's it. You know, and you call him all the names under the sun, but wouldn't they come out and threaten him? You know, and he's getting threats that are real, where his family's had to be moved at night, and he's been attacked twice in the street and at the side of the park, and then he's attacked again, and it's just like nothing's done about it. It's a joke.
No, the guy gives an opinion, and that's one thing about Lennon. He'll always give an opinion. Some folks say rightly or wrongly, but he's a guy that he'll stand up for himself. He'll give an opinion, and a lot of people say shouldn't he be, but that's fair enough. That's the character he is. But all he is giving an opinion, and the stuff that he's going through is an absolute disgrace. It's just not on. It's just disgraceful. And I seen Steve McManus was on. Just say Steve McManus was on Radio Scotland. He didn't even have any words for it. He was just like, it's disgusting.
Aye.
Yeah.
Just mention the Green Brigade. Why are they not back at Celtic Park? I mean, I've seen on STV tonight that there are no kids to answer on the H banner. The Motherwell game where it was proven not to be GB supporters. So why the club not getting them back in that section?
Well, I'll let Paul
To me, they've done nothing wrong.
Yeah, I'll let Paul, who's coming on, one of the members, come on and thing me. I'll only come on here as an individual. I can only tell you things that have happened in that, but I can't update you on things that would become officially the official sanctioned member, if you know what I mean. I can only come on and give you what I think. But I will let Paul, if Paul wants to answer anything when he comes on, one of my comrades.
One of my comrades. One of your guy in the trenches, eh?
That's it.
That's it, eh? Hey, brother.
Paul's
Because you said comrades before, know what I mean? That's
I know.
Paul's coming on in 5 minutes, isn't he?
He's going to Skype in about 8:30. Yep.
He's a brilliant guy.
Yeah. Very, very, and he speaks really, really well. See at the trust meetings and things like that. He's very articulate. What's wrong with the sound, Joe?
The fella Eamon keeps on jumping in. I don't know how it's happened. Keeps jumping in with this really, really big sound. I don't know what noise is coming from his microphone. But
can you get? Has the guy been on speaking?
No, because the sound is just too loud. So if you're listening there, Eamon, I can't. Your sound is just too loud.
If you can turn down your Spreaker, if you're listening to us on Spreaker, Eamon, and call back in, then probably maybe that'll fix it.
It should fix it. It's very loud. Turn down spreader. Can't spell. Yes, there we go. Right. So try and pad at the time here until Paul gets on that, because we all want to have a chat to Paul.
Paul Larkin, give us a wee lowdown what you.
Well, we're pushing on now with the documentary. It's been the last week or so, because you're trying to do something which is good, but you're also trying to keep it secret, and you've got people kind of asking, what are you doing this, what are you doing with that? And it's like, well, I can't tell you, and then they take offence by that, and so on and so forth. But what we've done in the Saturday Sunday is launch a wee appeal at the asteriskgears.com pounds, so that we can start on board now, and we've started buying cameras and tripods and all sorts of stuff, and editing programs and all that kind of thing, so they can use and whatever. So that's been going really well. Support's been absolutely fantastic for that. And then we've got a lot of filming for around the world done, and various other things. The end of February, beginning of March, we then start doing a lot of face-to-face interviews and that. And so we're looking forward to that. I've got all the camera gear ready for that. Middle of February, I beg your pardon, I'm going to sort of sign off on all the deal and all that kind of thing. So that'll be hopefully a big weight off. And then we've also been doing a lot of kind of research and stuff, and I've been getting some great help with that, and adding a few smoking guns as we speak. And I've got a lot of stuff in the day, even following on from the stuff that was revealed on Saturday. So that's going to be good, because it's going to really sort of shape up what a lot of suspected about certain things and EBTs and all that kind of thing. And I would suggest that there should be quite a few people who are within the game right now pretty worried about some of the stuff that's going to come out in the future, because it's going to paint a really bad picture. So what I'll probably be doing is confining the information on it for the next couple of months to the Asterisk Gears Twitter and the book group, and just sort of try to keep our heads down to get as much of it done as possible. We're popping up in a lot of places, filming and all that kind of thing. It's gone really well, but we just want to stress to people how we need to keep it tight and we need to keep it secret, because we can't. A lot of people are wanting information about this, that, and next thing. It's like we can't really say anything now. You know what I mean? We're right in the kind of optimum minute of it now. So, and even tomorrow, I'm going up to do a wee bit secret filming an event that the Murray organisation are holding. So, they're holding 4 events tomorrow. That's why I said it. So they don't know which one it'll be. But it's gone really well. And but now it's time for the real hard work to start.
So how many people do you think among the Murray sort of friends and whatever, how many people do you think know your name and are calling you all sorts of names?
Well, Angus Grossart certainly, because he had a hissy fit when he heard about the book and he tried to get it stopped. It's actually, you'll be surprised, and what I'll say is this: there's a lot of people that are linked to Murray in the past that have really turned against him now, because they got shafted as much as Rangers fans did by him, basically, and they're no great lover. And Murray, as I said, Murray's best pal in the last couple of years has been Craig White. I know that for a fact because I've seen the dialogue between them, and I know that shocks people when that. But what you'll think is you'll probably see the next few months as a prominent player for Murray's past really take him to task and perhaps even take him to court on a few things. Certainly, as I say on the programme on Saturday, there's a few, like the cinema and that, they were ready for us calling, and they clearly had a call, and I believe it was for one of their sponsors and things like that. It doesn't really matter, that kind of thing, Joe. It's just a case of, we'll find venues to show this film. I mean, that's not an issue. I mean, there's good enough Celtic people in Scotland and Ireland and America and that'll provide venues to show this film to people as much as possible. What we're trying to do now is make it the best we can. There's going to be a trailer. There's going to be 3 trailers for the film. The first one's going to drop tomorrow, and they're going to have 3 different themes, and I'm really proud of the one that's going to be out tomorrow, so be looking out for that. But I mean, of course, you make enemies in this kind of thing. You make enemies among Celtic supporters in this kind of thing, but it's just par for the course. But you just got to keep focused, and as I said on Saturday, Teddy Roosevelt said that if you believe you can do something, you're halfway there. So that's the way we're going to look at it.
Super.
Excellent stuff, mate.
It's getting bigger and bigger. Fantastic.
Did you say something before Paul comes on? Sorry, just to
Go
say,
for it, James.
Jason, just to say I paid for 7 seats for the Kano.
Okay.
Right? That's us paid. I said to Tom earlier, and I want to say to Paul Arton is obviously downloaded your book. Had it on the day. I was away my 10-mile walk today, and I actually flew in, listened to it, went in that quick, and I'll need to go back here it again because I thought it was excellent, and I'll maybe try and see if I can put a small donation in.
Cheers.
Good stuff, mate. So you tell Tommy about the seats, aye?
Yes, I have. Yep.
No worries, mate. Happy days.
Right, listen, we've got Paul here. We're going to try to clear some Skype here, James. We let you go, mate.
I'll let you go, definitely. Just listen.
Alright, cheers, mate.
I'll drop that as well, lads.
Hey, Brendan, James, all the best, boys.
Lads. Cheers, thank you. Paul, you there, mate?
Hi, how you doing, boys?
Not too bad, yourself?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you alright, that's no problem.
Can hear you perfect, Paul. So we'll do the wee introductions. This is Paul, for anybody that listens to the show. You're part of probably the most successful show we've done to date with downloads anyway. We'd over 10,000 downloads when we done Inside the Green Brigade. So Paul and his comrade Tony were on, and it was a great show, and he gave us a wee bit of insight into the life of a member of the Green Brigade. So Paul's still involved heavily with the Green Brigade, and he's also really involved in the Fans Against Criminalisation campaign. So the lads made a wee announcement the other day. They're going to release a song, and just basically get Paul on tonight to tell us the thought process behind it, what's happening with the Fans Against Criminalisation, and what's the next steps and things like that. So Paul, the floor's yours, mate. So tell us a wee bit about your thought process and things like that, and how you've got this off the ground and the record and things like that.
Well, I mean, we've had this in the pipeline for a few months now, but it's been quite busy. Obviously, first there was the incident in Amsterdam, and then the incident with Motherwell, so that possibly delayed our plans a wee bit. But we've been in contact with the Irish Brigade, Jerry Glasting, who wrote the song in 1982, and he was, kind enough to allow us to release this. And I think the main reason, there's several reasons, but we want to, embarrass the SNP. You can go and download this song on iTunes, but if you're to sing it within, Celtic Park, then you're liable for arrest. And I think that's a good way to point out the hypocrisy of the legislation, as well as the fact that it will help is to build up a solid legal fund for all the guys and lasses who have been dragged to the courts because of this.
Yeah, and there's actually a lad, there's a boy on one of the Celtic message board that's actually doing a 4-week remand in Addiewell at the minute. He got arrested for singing it at Motherwell. You know, and it's disgraceful that we aren't finding out about this. You know, but people's lives are being affected by this for singing a song that you can go into HMV and purchase. You know, and I think, to be honest with you, me and Paul and Harper and Joe and that had a wee convo about it, and we were a bit sceptical to start with, and saying, what's this? It's going to alienate the sort of middle of the road Celtic fans and things like that. But see, the more I think about it, I'm really behind it, and I think it's a great idea, because see, a lot of these middle of the road fans, the likelihood is they're probably never going to get involved with Fans Against Criminalisation anyway. I don't know, and I just think the way you are actually going to try and prove here is to show the establishment up for the absolute embarrassment of a law that they're trying to put in place. Well, they've put in place. I think it's absolutely terrible.
I think that's a fair point, Jason, about middle of the road fans, but the issue isn't do you agree with the content of the song? Do you agree that fans should sing it at Celtic Park? The issue is, do you think people should be arrested for it? That's what we're trying to highlight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, absolutely. And so, when's your launch date?
The launch date is next Sunday.
Next Sunday, okay. So for all, I take it all Celtic internet outlets, or the vast majority, decent ones anyway, they'll be able to get the link there. HomeBhoys will tweet the link. All your Twitter, it'll be through there. So I take it it's got to be a specific link that you need to download it from, so that you guys get the credit for it. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have that. We don't have it right now until the release, obviously. As of next Sunday, we'll have that, and we'll be sure to circulate that around the Celtic media online. We'll make sure everyone gets it. Yeah,
happy days, mate, happy days. So, well, we've got you on, obviously, Green Brigade member. So, what's actually happening with the group now? I don't know if you can mention it or whatever, but I was at the Celtic Trust meeting, and yourself was there a couple of weeks ago, and I'll be going on Wednesday. So, I heard a lot of talk for yourself and guys for the game. I thought it was incredible that you have been sort of chipped out of Section 111, but there has been no official statement from Celtic to give you any reason why. So, up to date, has there been any update in that? Has there been any developments?
We've not had any communication with Celtic at all, really, since the Motherwell incident. I think we're just plodding away in the background. We've got other stuff in the pipeline, in terms of we've got procurement summer to work away at, Fans Against Criminalisation stuff. And I think even before, with our section was disbanded, we had decided that our effort getting into, Fans Against Criminalisation and fighting this act, and that continues to be the case, even if we're not in a stadium at the minute.
Right. And as I say, we spoke about it earlier at the game yesterday. The big Fraser breaking the record, it was sort of just muted applause at the end and a wee announcement. I'm sure if you guys were there, they'd get a rousing reception, and you would probably had a banner for him unfurled at the end. And I think the park is definitely missing out. I'm still enjoying going to the games and stuff like that, but it's definitely a miss to everybody there.
It's a big miss for us, it's not fun watching a game, when you could be there with your pals in the section, but that's just the way it's worked out in a minute. But hopefully things will never change.
Aye, I know. So, Paul, Joe, you get anything to ask Paul?
Paul, see, the whole idea behind the song, is the plan here to try and thrust this into sort of public consciousness, like the same way, remember years ago when they did the whole thing, What's the Greatest Song Ever, on the BBC, and the poll ended up being A Nation Once Again, because there was a big movement around on social media to push that one to number one. The whole idea is to kind of get this song, I don't know what it takes to chart, to be honest with you, but I mean, if it did get to something like that there, I got that level of support, I mean, obviously that would be a big help, because the point behind the song is the fact that people are sick of being treated like criminals, and I mean, is this the kind of thing you think you can sort of bring to the wider public?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think what I would certainly be hoping for would be to get into the top 40, or the top 40 UK official charts would be fantastic. You've seen, there've been plenty of campaigns over the years from Rage Against the Machine to get to number one. Even 2 years ago, I think it was, that the Titans, and they just can't get enough single, and the Celtic support, rallied behind that, and hopefully they'll do again, because I think it's important that we make an effort to, show how, legitimise this song in the eyes of the courts as well. I think will maybe make the prosecutor's job that bit more difficult if they're arguing to, remand someone or ban someone on the basis of singing a song that was 3 weeks ago in the top 40 charts on all the radio stations.
Yeah. I mean, at its base, this problem is, they've decided to just sort of basically bring in this law and change these rules that instantly criminalises people who sing that song, right? And that's really, really odd. You just take something that's so, but it's been going on for so long, and it's not necessarily offensive. It's not offensive at all. It's just a song, and all of a sudden to go, right, well, that's illegal now, and you can't sing it. That's so, I don't know. It's a really, really odd thing to do, and it's just going out of your way to make criminals of people.
The act was very poorly thought out. I think everyone can see that now, and I think even the SNP must be regretting diving in the way that they did. But, I think it's still up to us to push them so that they realise it's in their best interest to drop it, especially with the referendum coming up.
Yeah. I mean, and I think these people at the top, though, these politicians, they have no... They've no idea that these laws affect people in a really serious way. Like in the microcosms of society, where people's lives are affected, people's jobs are affected, people's living situations are affected, people's security is affected by this ridiculous idea that we can just make something illegal because we want to, and we say it's offensive, and then you just got to deal with the consequences of that and stop doing it. It's bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, that it's so easy for people to segregate themselves from the reality of people's situations, and that even goes for those in power at Celtic that haven't really done enough to challenge this. It doesn't affect them, but it does affect the everyday away fan, whose mates have been carted out of Easter Road, or they're getting a trap in the door at 5 o'clock on a Friday morning. That's who it affects.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, it's for the wider issue, which people don't. A lot of people that aren't affected is like, I'm all right, Jack, but we know Motherwell fans are against the bill. There's other supporters have sort of supported the fans against criminalisation. But it's like, if you go to a rugby game, you could probably sing the Roll of Honour and nobody will bat an eyelid.
Absolutely. You could, definitely.
Aye, you could if you went to a Scotland-Ireland rugby game and tennies were walking in singing the Roll of Honour, nobody would say anything.
I think even on that basis, the law is wrong. You're immediately discriminating against people because you're creating a law, a criminal offence that only counts when you're acting as a football fan.
Exactly.
A football game that's not against the law.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. But I would love for all the Celtic fans to get involved, because I know we had the cracking rally at George Square and the momentum was there, but it seems to be like it's like the diehards again that are taking up the fight. And it's like, so hopefully with this song getting released, if people don't know to say, what's this got to do with Celtic and things like that, it's not really about Celtic, it's about the law, and obviously Celtic fans are bearing the brunt of this, but it's about the disgusting law that's been brought into place to sort of criminalise Celtic supporters. And I think bringing this song out, a lot of Celtic fans with the Irish Republican leanings anyway, and probably everybody could they sing every word of the song. So for the sake of a couple of quid, I think it's definitely getting a point across that, because the song's about resistance, the song's about not giving up to totalitarianism and fighting your. Whether you agree with republicanism or not, the sentiment behind it is very similar to something inside So Strong or whatever. It's something about guys that fought against a criminal regime that criminalised them and they didn't believe they were criminals. So I think for that case, it's pretty poignant. So I wish he's every success with it, mate.
Just got a tweet there from Ross Bonner, at Ross Bonner, telling me that it's 3,000 downloads to make the top 40. We can get that done.
I would hope so.
Absolutely. And the thing is, the good thing about social media as well, Paul, we can use this to our advantage now, because as I say, there's Celtic fans in every corner of the world. And if we get this, you could end up getting this. I think the ultimate aim here is to get worldwide exposure with this, and getting people to actually, because Irish people aren't deemed in the same way as they are in Scotland or anywhere else in the world. So
I think that the Celtic support have been brilliant in recent months. I think, you look at the support for the Amsterdam lads, the money that was collected in was just beyond anyone's wildest dreams, in fact. And then even, the Green Brigade held the food drive just before Christmas, and the amount of food that was building was just incredible. So I've the utmost faith that the Celtic support will support this campaign as well.
Yep.
And what price is the download going to be?
Pardon?
What price is the download going to be?
What price? Well, it was set at 99 cents on the website we've used, but I don't know how that will convert, I guess, but we'll find out. It won't be too dear anyway, and 90% of the money will be going to Fans Against Criminalisation.
Brilliant.
Cool. Did you know of something to say, Joe, mind a while back to do with downloads and iTunes and things like that, how they take money off you and things like that?
They take a cut of your money. I use a thing called TuneCore. Well, I have used a thing called TuneCore. Whenever I did the A Boy song and I did the What About Tim Parade to make for the Kano Foundation and for the Thai Tims, there's a thing called TuneCore, and they will help you put it up. They'll put it up on iTunes for you, and you pay them a fee. But iTunes takes a portion of money as well. It just depends on what service you use. You can use TuneCore. What is that
It's
noise?
a similar service, but I'll not name it so that there's not a boy mail campaign in the morning.
Fair point. So, is Paul cut off there, Joe?
He was
Paul
trying to get him back on now.
Because he had something to say there. I'm sure it was. So, Paul, what do you think? What do you think's next for the Green Brigade? If you can tell us on here, what do you think is the next move? Are we trying to get communication? Obviously, the Celtic Trust meeting this Wednesday. Might as well tell everybody here. So, Wednesday again, 7 o'clock in the London Road Celtic Supporters Association up the stairs. So there's a meeting that's open to all Celtic supporters that's getting chaired by the Celtic Trust again. So great work Jeanette and that do. But as I say, it's open to all Celtic supporters. So I was at the last one. I know you were there too, Paul. I would urge any Celtic fan that's in the vicinity and can make it, get along, because it's very informative and you find out a lot of good stuff. So I take it the vehicle then, maybe that will help in the next stages for Green Brigade, is maybe some of the questions that will be getting took to Peter Law and looking for answers. Is that your next steps, mate, or is there anything else you've got going in the background?
Well, possibly, but the truth is that there's no plans set in stone at the minute. We don't really know where we stand, and I think it's just a case of seeing what happens at the minute, to be honest.
Aye. Well, hopefully we can get the communication with the board and we can get them talking and there can be a bit of compromise for both sides and we can get you back in there, and it's for the greater benefit of Celtic and the wider Celtic support. I think it's only a great thing for the club and for us to get you back in there. Is Paul Larkin back on?
Paul, you back?
Aye.
You're back, Paul. Did you were going to say something to Paul there and you cut off, I think?
I was just going to ask him about FAC. Am I right in saying, Paul, that all the different bodies, the supporters associations and that are members of this?
Yep, it's the five main organisations, I guess: the Celtic Trust, the Celtic Supporters Association, the Affiliation, and the Affiliation of Irish Association, and the Green Brigade, of course.
So that's good. So you're effectively covering the basically every affiliated type of association. So, I suppose with 3,000 downloads, I think Joe says it's just a shame Top of the Pops isn't on the go anymore. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That could have been interesting, but
Jeanette's posted in the chat room that 19,000 downloads gets you to number one.
I hear that'd be brilliant.
How good would that be?
But somebody sent me a tweet here saying that UK downloads outside the UK won't count in the UK charts.
Yeah, that's right.
But still, we can still get 19,000 people. I think
so. So, is there any way around about this? The ones outside the UK, is there any sort of link that we can get them to download it? So that's
I don't know. I'll have to look into it. I don't think so. Maybe then again, I remember the time Rage Against the Machine went to number one. I bought that song. I don't know whether my download counted or not though, because I'm here in Ireland. I thought it did.
Depends on your iTunes account, does it not?
Maybe if you get because people with US Netflix and stuff like that can get US Netflix. So we maybe need to give them a wee user guide at the start for them to feel overseas that can download it. Not that I'm advocating breaking the law or anything like that.
No, of course not.
Aye.
That'd be great. But I mean, even just hearing on the top 40 would be great. You know what I mean? But I mean, the likes of Paul. I mean, you must be fairly humbled by the support you got around Europe. I mean, I've seen Dortmund fans had a sign up and stuff.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's been a host of groups that we don't even have any connection with at all that have supported us. over the last few months. I mean, even when we played Ellsberg, you know, they had the banner when we played them after Celtic tried to shut the section over lateral movement. So it's very humbling.
Aye, I've seen quite a few. Bayern Munich had one, didn't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got, maybe not an official friendship, but we've got a few guys that are good friends with, you know, Bayern Munich Celtics go out to Shikaria, so they're back and forth quite a bit. So I think it's good from those guys.
Yep, no, absolutely. And so, what's the group stance? Are you all not going to the home games anymore, or are some of you going and just sitting yourself, or is it a group decision not to attend the home games or whatever? What's the position at the minute?
I think we've all took our refunds when we were offered that following the disbandment, and we're not attending home games at the minute now.
Right, okay, all right, that's fair enough. So, as I say, you're open to. I take it you aren't playing. Like if Celtic want to come and speak to you, you're going to talk to them. I take it.
Well, I mean, we've not heard anything from Celtic, even on the food drive. You know, we were contacting them to try and find out because they previously agreed to support it and publicise it, and they wouldn't even answer, you know, any calls or emails on that. So I wouldn't be expecting them to get in contact anything soon.
Aye. Sad stuff. So hopefully Jeanette and co, obviously, when Jeanette's no shrinking violet, so when she's in the meeting with Law or whatever, you know, with these questions for the trust, I'm sure they quit. Because I think that was the main consensus opinion when we were at the trust meeting. It was the fans against criminalisation. We were looking at the bill was the main crux of the matter, but I think closely followed was the closing of section 111. I think a lot of Celtic fans feel really passionate about getting you guys back in, because at the end of the day, you are just Celtic fans like the rest of us, you know. And I think if you canvass most of the fans in the stadium, I'd say we'd all say it's a poorer place without he's been there.
Well, I mean, I think the two issues are linked, you know, between the behaviour of the police and after the act, and now the fact we've had a section disbanded. I think the things are linked. I think that folk are, you know, especially folk that go to away games, you know, they're pissed off at, you know, having a camera shoved in their face the minute they got off a bus, and they don't like seeing it happen to us either, and they don't like the fact that, you know, the club have been complicit in a lot of it. Yeah,
and I think that was one of the main things that came out to me, was Celtic to actually make a statement and tell us, do you support this act or are you against this act? Because the silence is deafening with them relating to this. The kind they put I think the communication for Celtic in an official capacity is brutal anyway, you know, and it's, I mean, Paul Larkin mentioned it on here, I think it was last week, that we've got a meeting that attended 250 yards up the road for Celtic Park, where you've got 250 Celtic fans speaking about various issues at Celtic Park, and there isn't one representative for the club actually bothers their arse to turn up and listen to what the fans are saying.
I mean, I'll go further than that. It shouldn't be one way, it should be Peter Lawwell. Because I'll tell you right now, if that was 250 people there who needed convinced to buy a season ticket, if he actually thought about it like that, then he'd be along there like a shot. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the kind of thing I was going to ask Paul. I mean, just on a personal level, Paul, I mean, how is the mood amongst the guys that are going? I mean, he's still keeping your heats up, he's still got hope for the future?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're not going to just go away. That's certainly not going to happen. You know, we'll still, you know, if there's a home game on, we'll all go to the pub together. And as much as I miss not being there, it is nice to get up on a Saturday knowing that you're not going to have to face the hassle of Polish. None of your mates are going to be lifted today. And it's nice not to have that, you know, stress at the minute, I guess.
Aye, you know.
And that's actually, see, when you put it like that, that is extremely sad. That, you know, not going to watch Celtic is a weight off your shoulders, and all you're actually doing is going to watch Celtic and sing a couple of songs and get behind the team. And there's a law in this country that's actually stopping you doing that. I know it's when you put it like that, and you're actually going to the pub, sitting with your mates and watching the game on Sky Sports News or whatever, and it's like a weight off your shoulders because you know you're not going to get arrested that day, and you're not going to get your door chapped in a couple of weeks because the police have, I don't know, it beggars belief. It's incredible.
I mean, is it complete incompetence, or is this like some sort of long-term tactic to drive certain people away from football? I don't know. It's weird. Like maybe I'm being a conspiracy theorist here. Maybe I don't know.
there was a lad stood up. Paul, you'd maybe be able to replay this better than myself, but there was a lad stood up, and he actually said that this act was the baby of who's the policeman, the guy, Stephen House, and it was this is his baby, this act, and he's the guy that's convinced Salmond and whatever, and it's because of police budgets and things like that. I don't know, Paul, if you want to reiterate it better than myself. I can't really rephrase it word for word.
I can't rephrase it word for word myself, but I do know the boy that spoke up. He's a very good speaker, and he's worked with Fans Against Criminalisation for quite a bit now as well. A really good guy. And I think what he was saying was that, especially in a time, when public services have been cut left, right and centre, because of this act and because of the joint action group that was set up following the so-called chain game, what happens now is that out of the anti-sectarian budget that the Scottish government sets aside, a massive chunk of that now goes to Focus and goes to, it was Strathclyde Police, now it's Police Scotland. And Stephen House is apparently quite renowned for able to distribute it and make the most of any money that he gets. So it's within his interest to get this money and to keep this bill going.
Mm. Yeah, and it's like, if you've got an anti-sectarian budget, surely the vast majority of that should be spent on education.
Yes.
Not giving it to police that's actually going to put people in jail for saying it.
Well, it's classic shock doctrine. They create the problem and they also provide the solution.
Yeah.
No, I mean, and that's basically what's happening here. Is the police have we've taken a football match, which we all remember, got out of hand because Rangers players, got sent off and done this and done that kind of thing, and that's become this whole act, and it's been clearly perpetrated by people with an agenda, who are the same people who are now saying, but we can solve it for you by increasing our budget. As you say, at a time when the budget was going to be cut and it became Police Scotland and it was the individual police forces and all that kind of thing. But that's another point, because everybody knows it is individual police forces, because different laws are being put on Celtic supporters in different places we go to. So it does. The whole thing really does stink, and I mean, it's no surprise to me that Stephen House is now being touted for the PSNI job.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
It felt like a glove, but it's incredible. But so this is the thing. The thing for me is, like, I'm going to go along on Wednesday night, and there's going to be 250, 300 people there again. I take it, and every day with the best intentions possible. But apart from the song, how can we get more people involved in this? Is there no way we're going to get the majority of Celtic fans involved in this because they're just too apathetic? They don't really care. What's your views, guys? Do you think the vast majority of fans just don't care enough to do anything about this?
People don't want to be bothered. I mean, there's a lot of, like you say, there's the whole mentality of I'm alright, Jack. I mean, and it's just that I'll go to the football, I'll watch the football, but that's as far as I want to get into it. I don't want to think about anybody's problems or take anybody's issues on. But I think it could be like we said. I mean, like, when you look at the likes of Amsterdam, Jason, like you said it when you came back, you said it could have been you. You know what I mean? And not that's directly connected to this bill, but I mean, it's that sort of behaviour and that mentality towards football fans that's going to get the wrong person hit or arrested. It's getting the wrong person hit and arrested, and I don't know.
And see, like the guy Paul and all his pals, like the Green Brigade, and they're going to the pub and they're sitting in the pub, and maybe 3-4 weeks down the line they find we like this bit. Man, I know he's saying that with the stress removed for going to the football, but essentially they all want to go back to the games, but they want to go back to the games without the added stress of the police going to arrest them. But can you imagine, like 3-4 weeks down the line, they get used to that and say, because I know loads of guys that go to the pub now and don't go to Celtic games because they've just got in the habit of going.
Yeah.
And if all these guys just get in the habit of getting into the pub and they actually find they're enjoying it and they're saying, I can't bother getting back in there now, and they lose the buzz for going there, and they're all going to grow up, get married and have kids and stuff like that, and then they don't bother taking their kids along. Mm-hmm. It's sad news for football and for Celtic especially, and that's the bit that I find incredible, that Celtic can't be bothered talking to these guys.
Well, it's back to the division between the fans and the club. I mean, this gulf, this increasing gulf of why is it that the Celtic board and the club overall can't put their weight behind fans who have concerns, you know, and address these concerns. It just doesn't make any sense. But then again, that's a deeper issue, I think, as well, in terms of how these people view the common Celtic supporter, you know.
Aye. And the dwindling numbers. I mean, Paul, what do you reckon? Paul Larkin, what do you reckon the crowd was yesterday?
Oh, maybe low 30s.
Aye, I would say 35 tops. I know they reported that, I think, at 46ers. There's no way in hell there was anything like that there. There was 35,000 there. And it's Celtic just accepting this now. And they're not trying to fill the stadium. I don't know. It's just, are they happy because their pals that sit in the comfy seats are happy the Green Brigade are no longer there? I don't know. I don't know what the motivational factor for the suits is for this. I've thought about it long and hard.
There has to, I know. I can't get my head around it as well, and I've had many heated, conversations about it with folk as well, because it's just, to me, Celtic could stop this gulf right now, and if they don't, then they're just going to be thought of as they actually wanted to be there, and that's just ridiculous. I mean, we should be. I always say the basic common denominator here is we're all Celtic supporters, and that should be enough for people to say, right, we're not talking about just kind of mindless idiots who want to do it, but we know the media's got to portray people like that, etc., etc., etc. But at the end of the day, for the good of everybody, this has to be resolved, and it has to be resolved now.
Yeah. So, Paul, see out the group, the Green Brigade, see Celtic did offer the olive branch. Would you be willing to go and talk and accept it? Or do you think it's gone too far now? Or some of the guys want to play hardball and they're not interested now? Or would everybody be susceptible to discuss whatever?
Well, ultimately, our aim is to be back in the stadium at some point. That's what we're all about. We want to be in supporting the team the way that we do. But
yep.
I don't know what that's going to take at the minute. I really don't. We'll just need to wait and see.
Aye. But say Celtic did put the olive branch out and says, right, we want you guys in, we want to have a meeting, whatever. Would you go and meet them?
I would assume so. I would need to, that would obviously need to go back to the group. But I would assume so. But, I don't know, what terms Celtic would put on everything now,
I know that. I get that. Obviously, you don't want to compromise everything you stand for and just say, right, we can go in there, but we need to sit in our seats. We can't sing this. We can't, stuff like that. Obviously, there need to be a bit of coming and going at both sides. But if I was the CEO, I'd be heavies in tomorrow morning. And it's just, I don't know, it's just, I can't find an answer for it. I've racked my brains to find out what's the motivational factor for the Celtic board. And is it just that we've got a few grumpy twats with suits that have got a lot of sort of sway in the boardroom, that they just make these decisions, they don't care? They're just that far removed from the normal fan? Or is there far more Celtic fans out there that are kind of against the Green Brigade than we know? Or I don't know the answer. I don't think it's that.
They should phone then if there's a different point of view.
Yeah.
Come on and phone in and say, well, this is why I'm not supporter or whatever, because at least you can get a proper debate.
I know. I thought we'd take loads of calls in because Paul was on, and nobody's phoning in. So aye, but. You've maybe scared them all away, Paul, because you're not an Ed, and they're saying to themselves, this guy can talk here. And it's, that's the thing. If you were to come along to the Celtic, the social club on Wednesday, the Green Brigade will be well represented there, and when you hear the guys speaking, you can't help but admire them, because they aren't wee daft Neds. They're guys that's got a passion for what they believe in. They're fervent Celtic supporters. They just want to support the club in a more dynamic way, so to speak, than the normal guy. And I think that's to be commended. They're all very politically motivated and they care about stuff. So I don't think there's many negatives there. So I just think if you want to come along, listen to the guys and the points the guys put across, and if you don't agree with it, challenge them, because it won't result in violence. You'll get a debate. It's a very well organised meeting, and everybody's got a chance to speak. And there was nobody had their hand up the other Wednesday that didn't get their chance to speak.
Yeah.
I thought it went really well last 2 weeks ago on Wednesday. Yeah. Hopefully it'll do the same again.
It did. And the thing is, there was a lot of points made that I didn't agree with, but you had your right to reply. you know, there was a few guys getting a bit carried away with certain stuff and getting round to applause, and I was like, I can't believe that, you know. But that's what democracy's all about. Everybody's not got the exact same opinion, but it's chaired very well. Everybody's got their opinion, and everybody's welcome. So hopefully it's more of the same. But no, I really enjoyed it, and there was a lot of good debate and a lot of good points, and I learned a lot of stuff as well, because as I say, I didn't know that you've still never had an official reason why Section 111 was closed down. And obviously the 125 who were banned from the Motherwell game, they're now no longer banned, but Celtic haven't put any official communication out there to let the wider support know that's the case. It's just sort of been sleekly done under the carpet. So I saw these bold and brash statements they make after games, then they rescind them, but they don't actually rescind them. They just sort of take out the whatever they've done to basically, I don't know the word I'm looking for, they banned 125 people.
Reverse the decision.
They reversed the decision without actually coming out and communicating. Look, we made a boo-boo there.
Yeah.
Just kind of done it.
Well, see, even that kind of behaviour would bring you slightly closer to the club if they were at least honest and some sort of humble in some ways. Listen, we made a fuck up there. Sorry about that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's start again here. But that doesn't happen. There's this sort of, I don't know, corporate sort of monster big bully type thing that they like. This bravado, this sort of...
and especially after the Dundee debacle, you think after Fir Park they'd maybe said, hey, take a couple of steps back here, let the furore die down, let's find out the real story, what happened there, and then if we want to get to the media, let's do it. But no, just reactionary crap, and it's been reacting all the time rather than being proactive.
Statements and pawn statements. We've been joined by a caller. Corpac boy?
Aye, how you doing?
What's happening, man?
Yeah.
How are you fellas? You alright?
Not too bad.
I'm good. Long time listener, first time caller.
Sweet.
Happy days.
Welcome.
No special reason for calling in, but normally I don't call because I like to download your podcast to listen to in the car when I'm driving to work and that. But just wanted to call in and say just thanks to you all, for the work that you do.
No worries, mate.
And I wanted to say a wee special one out to Paul Larkin there. I listened back to him when talking to your man, was it Graham Wilson on the Beyond the Waves one?
Aye,
that was emotional, man. It was. Thank you for that. He really felt it, by the way.
Aye, it was. Basically, for anybody who's not listening, he caught me a bit unaware with it because obviously I was kind of saber rattling, filming whatever, and then he just came out with this, which I suppose any good interviewer should do, is to come out with that. And what happened was when I tried to explain to people what the sort of service of the funeral was, I couldn't get the words of the song "I'll Take You Home Again, Kathleen" out my word because I just kept thinking of Archie, and so. It was quite an emotional moment because, as I said on the thing, Archie was one of the three people that shaped my support in life, who made me realise that Celtic are so magical and bring so much joy to so many people. So it was a really emotional moment for me, I have to say, mate. Aye.
You can feel it, man. I think, is it Jason or whatever yourself earlier on said, I had a wee lump in my throat myself, man, listening to it.
Aye, no, definitely. I did too, mate.
You could see it, you could feel it, aye.
Well, the thing is, it's like the discussion we've had tonight about FAC and Green Brigade and all that kind of thing. That's how I always come at these things. It's at the end of the day, we're all Celtic supporters, you know what I mean? And this is what it's all about. And listen, there's enough people out there that want to divide us at every opportunity. And, they come with the club. Some of them come from within the club and, they're ranting and raving on Twitter and all this about this, that, and next thing. You try to keep everybody at each other's throats. What I think is we're very close to is once we unite this Celtic support, well, it's unstoppable. I mean, it is absolutely unstoppable. At a time when our team is unstoppable. And once we get that part of it right, then, the whole thing becomes unstoppable. And we all know that's going to be, heresy for a lot of people in Scotland, but that's what's going to happen,
Sorry,
we've been joined by another caller. Tom.
Hi, how we doing?
Not too bad, Tom. How's things?
Smashing. I'm sitting in Florida, 82 degrees.
Oh,
Snow battered. Listen to all you moaning about my team. This is a game.
That's freezing there, Tom.
You are.
Right, Tom, we've got a young boy on for the Green Brigade. You any questions for him?
Oh no, don't tell me. Listen, no, what I phoned in was for us. Paul just kind of stole a bit of my thunder there. Paul's 100% right. It's about time, we get together. See this? We're feeding the newspapers with all this crap, by the way. What was happening to Lennon? Nothing getting done. Nothing gets done to end when we're in trouble. This mob's getting away with murder. They've all got away with murder. They're always going to get away with murder. I've been going to see Celtic since I was 2 years of age. That's 65 years I've been gone. I've never seen the support so divided and gone after the people that's at the top. Let them do their job. We're Celtic supporters. We're going to support the team. Crowd's dwindling. See, they're not going to the game because of something that management's doing. Because the management's doing something, you're not going to the game. You're not a Celtic supporter. I don't care what anybody says.
No, Tom, I think you're obviously not been listening. People's lives are getting affected going to watch Celtic nowadays. It's not just as simple as going to watch Celtic. People are getting harassed in their homes. People's lives are getting affected just for going to watch their club. So I think there's a lot more to this than just turning up and watching your team. That's all they were doing, was turning up to watch their team.
All they wanted was setting up the smoke bombs. Get them to hell.
No, I'm not. I bet young Paul's on here. I bet he's never set off a smoke bomb.
I have not.
There you go.
Okay, you get rid of the punters then that's in among you that's infiltrated you. I've said before, there's a gang infiltrated you and created all kinds of shit. You let them. So you know what? How many times were you warned?
But no, listen, Tom, it's nobody's job. If you're a fan, it's not your job to go around policing people. That's what the stewards are for.
None of that is true. None of them.
One minute you're on the stewards and then you're telling me police them. Make up your mind.
No, I'm saying it's not their job to police them. It's not your job to take care of somebody who's hanging on to your group. That's not your job. It's the steward's job. If somebody's acting up in the stands, it's the steward's job to take care of it. But the problem is the police are being very heavy-handed and taking...
Hold that result just right there. When I was going to the game, there was 10, 12, 15, 20 has gone to Benny's Bar and the Gorbals. If one guy was being an idiot, by the way, see, we went back to the bus. He got a doing half of your us because you're not stunning with us. And I was at games when they used to throw bottles. And it started, and I seen guys just going down, guys like my own old man. We were young boys all doing the front throwing bottles. They were grabbing these punters and throwing them to the pole and saying, "There, take them away. You don't want them at Parkhead."
But I think you're missing the point here, Tom. This isn't about people throwing bottles. I was at Fir Park standing just there for the Green Brigade, and the Green Brigade were all just singing and dancing, and these chairs broke because people were standing on them because they couldn't see the game. Nobody was wrecking seats. That didn't happen.
Well, don't stand at games then.
What do you mean?
Sit in your arse.
You couldn't, because there was people standing in front of them. So then you stand and see the full Celtic end behind the. See, in fact, the full Celtic end behind the goal, top and bottom. Not one person was sitting in their chair. Everybody was standing up.
Well, here you go then. So there was all kinds of guys standing. You tell them to sit down. I wouldn't hear about.
You can't tell 6,000 folk to sit down.
I'll tell you what. Then we just start fighting among one another. Then.
Like we'll do that.
No, Tom, it's not as black and white as you're trying to make it out. You know what I mean? It's a lot more convoluted than that.
Tom, you're talking about games you were going in the 60s. Things aren't like that anymore.
I wish the hell it was.
See the end of the day.
I wish the hell it was, because you know what? That management mob were saying there was only 35,000 and 40. I know there were 70,000, 30, 60,000 in there. But we never bothered their ass with them, because we were going to see Celtic.
The issue is, so that you could stand and sing, you could stand with your mates and have a laugh. You didn't have to worry about the police coming after you. You didn't have to worry about the police coming to your door on a Friday morning. That exists now. That's the difference.
Yeah. These people
there's a certain thing about that at Celtic, and I believe are doing something about that. But I heard somebody saying, Celtic do this, Celtic do that. They go quietly about their business.
They go that quiet because they're not even doing anything.
You don't know that.
Well, there's no evidence to say otherwise.
At the end of the day, it's all, everybody always comes out with that other doing things in the background. Well, doing what exactly? Because nothing's changing.
Well, of course things are changing. I just heard somebody. I've just come in out to the beach and just started listening. I heard somebody saying they've done this and nobody's been banned and the whole thing.
Aye.
Right. So they're doing things quietly. They're doing it the right way. You know,
no, they're not doing it the right way at all, Tom.
Of course, because the newspaper would be bouncing all over them to say...
They were the ones that went to the newspapers and made the statement they were banning 125 people. So see, when they unban them, why don't they go back to the newspaper and say, we've now unbanned 125 people because we made a rip-roaring arse and it was the wrong people. They people had nothing to do with it.
Were they ever banned?
They were banned.
Apparently so, yeah.
They got letters.
Where did they ban them to?
Out of the stadium. They banned them. They took the seats off them.
No, they said they would place them somewhere else in the park until they got
No, that's a different issue. The Motherwell game, there was 125 people banned. Am I right, Paul?
128 it was.
128 people banned. And then, this is aside the 111 issue, Tom. So there was 128 people banned, and this was the people for the Green Brigade section who took the tickets for that area in Fir Park where the seats were broke. So Celtic then realised there's been 18 people lifted since the game for trouble outside the ground and stuff inside the game, and people identified wrecking seats, and not one of them were one of the 128. So Celtic have realised that they made a rip-roaring arse and they've unbanned the 128, but they've not made any statement to MD to tell them that they made a rip-roaring arse.
I think even...
As long as they've
banned them. Sorry.
Here's one of the things. I went personally when I was here the last time they were to carry on, but they were going to supposed to ban Brigade, and I met with Peter Law personally and said to him, don't you dare do that, that's ridiculous, it's the only thing we've got in here as far as an atmosphere is concerned. He said, I don't want to do it. He said, I'm the one, he said, that makes sure they're all together. He said, but we're getting letters from the police saying they're going to put us behind closed doors. So they're under a certain amount of pressure. And don't forget your Celtic supporters and what you are and what the police will do to Celtic supporters. And these people get away with murder, for Christ's sake.
Firstly, Peter Lawwell in Celtic said that the police were going to close the stadium because of lateral movement. That was utterly untrue. We found out through a Glasgow councillor at the time that Celtic had just made that up. The idea that the stadium was going to...
No, they didn't. Oh, no, they didn't. I'll argue with that, pal.
Right, let Paul finish here, Tom.
Well, Celtic never lied. Celtic never lied about a letter coming for the police.
So if the stadium was going to be closed because of lateral movement, why did they let us back in to do it again?
You just said Celtic never got a letter for the police saying that they would close it because of lateral movement. That's a lie. Celtic did get a letter.
The stadium was not going to be closed because of lateral movement. That was not going to happen. And if it was
the police sent them a letter saying they were going to do it.
There was no way that the police were going to do that, and it was proven. And
you know that for sure.
So Glasgow City Council were going to start the stadium, and Glasgow City Council said that wasn't true.
Do you know that for sure that Celtic never got a letter?
Well, he's just told you Glasgow City Council straight for the horse's mouth told them they weren't going to close the stadium because of lateral movement. So Celtic let them back in and let them do the lateral movement.
So hold that result. He's saying Glasgow City Council said they weren't going to do that. But what I'm saying is there was a letter sent to Celtic to saying that by the police saying they would close it down by the lateral movement. What Glasgow City Council says was, we're never going to do it. Now, I can assure you there was a letter sent to Celtic.
Well, I can assure you there was no threat to the stadium being closed, and we've got an FOI, a Freedom of Information request, to prove that, which I'm happy to provide to Jason and the rest of the boys when we're finished up here tomorrow if I've got time.
So there you go. Did Peter Law let you see the letter, Tom?
No, but I know somebody that did.
All right.
I know somebody that did.
All night now.
What?
I wish I'd phoned in on another night now.
That's what it's all
there you
about.
go. I never know what's going to happen this show.
At the base of this issue, right, and we keep coming back to this, people's lives are being disrupted because they're going to a football match and singing.
Aye.
Right? And that's
right.
I don't disagree with you there on some of that crap. That's wrong.
Exactly. That's the crux of the matter, Tam. That's why the guys aren't in the stadium now. Well, the guys aren't in the stadium because Celtic's obviously closed their section down. But without any explanation either, there's no statement come out for Celtic, or there's been no communication to the lads to tell them why their section's been shut down. A good pal of mine who's in his 40s has nothing to do with the Green Brigade but sits in that section. He's been relocated in the stadium. So Celtic's not come out and told them why.
Ultimately, though, Celtic, it wasn't about Motherwell. I know Celtic, at the time, it was after Motherwell, it was about Milan. It was about the display against Milan.
Aye.
And ultimately, I still think that we were forced to do that because the club haven't had the balls to come out and oppose this legislation. That's the whole point. That's what it all comes down to. Celtic haven't had the balls to challenge this act, which is criminalising fans at almost every opportunity now. That's what matters. No.
I don't agree with them banning the Green Brigade at all. Don't get me wrong here. I don't agree with what happened. I just don't like the way we're all seemingly jumping in here and feeding the frenzy of the media.
Why does it matter?
We're no feeding any media frenzy. We're a Celtic supporter phone in here, Tam. We don't DN with mainstream media, so we're not feeding any frenzy.
Why should it matter what the Daily Record writes? Why should it unrights? Who cares?
Exactly.
Agree, Jason? They listen to everything.
Well, at the end of the day, they don't come on. I mean, they're more than welcome to call here, and they've got Celtic supporters that are putting their point across. And I mean, at the end of the day, this show hasn't got an agenda. We've all got our own views. Me, Paul, Joe, and Harper all argue with each other. With ding-dongs last week with the parrot phoning in, we had different views. So any Celtic fan has got their view on this show. And as I say, Paul comes on, very articulate young boy. He's got his views, and I agree with 99% of his views. I probably agree with a lot of them. And I just feel that the way these young guys are getting treated for going to watch Celtic is an absolute disgrace. And if you were, obviously you're in sunny Florida, mate, but if you had the chance to go to the Celtic Supporters Association on Wednesday, you would hear a lot of points that were spoke about and you'd be able to challenge them. But I can assure you, it's no good reading for Celtic fans and Celtic fans with Celtic's best interest, that the lack of communication for the club. And this is what it's all doing. It's all down to communication, because you're telling us stuff that you're saying Peter Law's tell you. Why does he not come out and tell the rest of the Celtic supporters? Why is it just you he tells? That's not going to help things. Why does he not come out?
Tell people for the Celtic Supporters Association, the affiliation of Celtic supporters, and he's told, what do you call them, the trust?
The trust runs the meeting. The trust is running the meeting. So I can assure you, anything that's getting told to them, Jeanette's relaying to us. There is no hidden agenda, because we're at this meeting. It's an open meeting, invited for all Celtic supporters are invited there. So the thing is, this isn't coming out to us, Tam. So Paul Larkin made the point on here a couple of weeks ago. See Celtic TV. Why does Peter Law not have a wee bit that he comes out and talks to the supporters and tells the supporters stuff?
I agree with you. Well, maybe he will.
I don't think so, Tam.
I don't think so. I don't see Peter Law doing the old Cesar Chavez thing, taking phone calls on the TV. You know what I mean? I don't see that happening at all. I just don't think. It's again, we're still back to this. I mean, Tom, do you not think that there's a divide between the club, the board, and the fans? I mean, in terms of like those people being out of touch. I mean, you obviously know Peter Law personally. I mean, are these people out of touch, or are we just barking up the wrong tree here? Because it certainly feels like that the regular Celtic fan, the lads in the Green Brigade are regular Celtic fans. They're not represented anywhere in the club, or they're not really listened to, and they're not really thought of, you know. And not fighting this act is another symptom of that. It's another like, well, you know what? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect us.
Well, actually, we've got a guy going to the meeting. And obviously, I couldn't get there, but we've sent Jackie Meehan. You know Jackie. Jackie Meehan, the past president of the North American Federation. He'll be at these meetings to represent us, and he'll report back to us and let us know. And I usually get good reports for Joe Rourke or for John Andrews for the Celtic Supporters Association. They give us reports. But, I don't think that everything should be coming. If Celtic are doing things under the table or quietly, then that's I'd rather them vote some players, or else even just. I would if I was. My opinion is, I don't want Celtic to buy any more players. I want to bring that youth team through that's won everything. And do you know what? We could play them for a year and they'll be ready.
I don't disagree with that.
Come in. Pardon, spit it out. Come in on this.
I don't know what's been said.
All right, enough Irish put up. Oh, Jesus.
Tam's on it. Basically, we're talking about the communication between Celtic, the Celtic board, and the support. I'm saying it's basically non-existent, and Tam's obviously getting information from Peter Long. So why do the rest of the support not get this information? And I mentioned your idea last week, getting Peter Long on Celtic TV so they can come out and tell us stuff. But as us as the normal punters, we don't find out this information. And at the end of the day, we've got a group of lads here that don't attend home games now because they get took out of their section and not been told why. We all know why for the Milan game, and obviously the Celtic didn't have the balls to come out and admit it.
I mean, ultimately, I would say that the issue is actually even bigger than us, because it's not just us that have been jailed. You now see at most away games, people have been arrested because of, this legislation and because of the rule of honour, and that's part of the whole point of the single, is to publicise that, because Celtic aren't doing it. Celtic aren't defending their fans, and for me that is unforgivable.
Yeah, I mean, the guy I know that's in, I don't know the guy personally, but the boy that's in 4 weeks in Addiewell, he's no member of the Green Brigade. So it's just, I mean, there's people doing jail time here because of a song.
Did you see Jason?
What's that, Paul?
You see he's in for 4 weeks.
4 weeks remand. He missed a court appearance because his solicitor didn't send him the letter, and he handed himself in, and he's been remanded for 4 weeks in Addiewell prison.
And what exactly is he charged with, like?
Singing the Roll of Honour at Fir Park.
I mean, that's absolutely unbelievable, like.
Aye. Incredible.
What the fuck?
I mean,
the full stadium was singing it, by the way. The full stand was singing it, and they waited for him to go to the toilet at half time, and pulled him and his mate.
Oh, aye. I mind you talked. That was at Fir Park, eh?
Yep, Fir Park. Yep. Waited to half time. So that's what you're up against here, Tam. And Celtic are not coming out to do anything. Celtic are not coming out to make any statements whatsoever, just washing their hands of it. Well, they're happy to play This Land Is Your Land and stuff like that, or the Fiddly D music or the tannoy. They're happy to portray the Irish roots, but when somebody's singing another song relating to Ireland, they're not wanting anything to do with it.
Well, I think, the people that are in place, the Celtic Supporters Association, the trust, the affiliation, they're the people that is really going to get to meet them and talk to them. And I believe all the questions have been put to them. But these kind of questions can get put to Celtic. I don't know if it's going to go to him or no, to Law or no, I really don't know. I only get him when I get him in October, I usually have a meeting, but unfortunately I never got to meet him when I was home from October to December last year because I had some family stuff to take care of. But normally I meet with him, and trust me, him and I have good arguments. I don't think I'm coming on and just saying sticking up for him. There's a lot of things that go on that I don't like, but I don't personally come on and blow my horn about this, about that, but I'll tell him straight. I do tell him straight, because I'm not going to kiss anybody's arse. It's as simple as that. The only thing that bothers me is I'm a Celtic supporter, through and through.
Aye,
I've been lucky
so are we all.
You trying to suggest that we are not Celtic supporters because we are not comfortable going to the games?
Listen, the poor boys that's getting done at their house. I'm one guy that knows they get carried out to Hampden, took to jail, and get a right doing with a Celtic scarf on at a Scotland game. Scotland and Holland.
I mean,
So,
but that's nothing to do with what we're talking about here, Tam, with the greatest respect.
You know what? It was because I wore a Celtic scarf.
Aye, but you're going to a Scotland game, so do you know, with the greatest respect, Tam, this is a separate issue. This is guys that go to watch Celtic and their lives are getting affected. I mean, they actually, Green Brigade, the memberships are roughly about 80, and I think 40 of them have been arrested at one stage or another, and their houses have been targeted and things like that. This is not on.
I'll give you an example here, Tom, right? I went over to the stand with the Green Brigade in April, whenever I stayed with you, Jason, right?
Yeah.
And to get me to the game, we were at the protest at George Square, right? And to get to the game, I had to walk with a guy, right? And he's a member of the Green Brigade. I was chatting away to him, and he's telling me that he had a ban, right? And I thought he had a ban from the stadium, right? Which he did. But as we got sort of towards the bottom of I don't know what road it was, up the Gallagate, right? He stopped and he said, "I can't go any further." And I said, "Why not?" He said, "No, if I go any further, I'll be arrested." So not only could he not go to the game, he couldn't even go near the stadium. Couldn't go anywhere with his friends. So he had to stop and hand me over to another guy who took me up to the game because I was going to stand with them. He was then, and he's a school teacher, right? And he was one of the most gentle, nicest guys I've ever met in my life. And see a guy like that, there's no way he's not going to start trouble. Right? I know by talking to him. So the problem is, at a base level, people's lives are being affected, right? People are being harassed, whether that be at their houses, whether that be at the game, whether that be in the fucking street, whatever it is. It's intimidation, it's harassment, and it's wrong. People just want to watch the football. And if they want to sing a song, let them sing a song. They're not offending anybody. But this law is now in place to say, well, you know what? This is offensive. To who? We don't know. But you're going to go to jail for singing it. And that guy's in prison for 4 weeks. So it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's just snowballing. And it's going to keep fucking going until somebody does serious prison time for something ridiculous.
But it's the police. Is there a shower of bastards? It's the police.
Right. Aye, we're agreeing that. But do you know, I think Celtic have got a responsibility here to defend their support.
I think they do.
No, absolutely. They do. But they're not.
Aye.
They're not doing it.
But they're not doing anything. They're fueling the fire.
I mean, the hard part for me, you know, to answer some of these questions is I'm out here, and it's difficult.
Aye.
Like, you know, if I was there, I can assure you, and I'm being perfectly honest with you, and anybody that knows will tell you, I would be thoroughly involved with the Green Brigade to help them out. I would be standing there helping them, you know, no matter what.
If you were in Scotland, you'd be in the Green Brigade. I'll tell you that right now.
I'd be the leader of.
You would be. I know. And I'm telling you right now, you're a great. You've done. Look, I've known Tam a long time. Fantastic guy. Would take a bullet for any Celtic supporter. And I think what the guys are trying to get into you, Tam, is that, you know, they're going through what you went through. Do you know what I mean? You were a target, and they're a target. And you put the country because of it, remember?
I know. I mean, I've been dragged into a Black Maria. I was dragged into a Jeep in Castlemilk for doing nothing. And when I went to court is when I seen the charges was taking part in a running street fight, jostling people in the street, and a hazard to traffic on the road. It was in Castlemilk Drive, and there was about 4 people in Castlemilk that had motors. There was nobody about. I was carrying an umbrella. I was a mod. And that's what I get done for. But the police knew who I was.
So maybe you should have a bit more solidarity, I think, maybe. I don't know. But I just think we should all be on the same page here, because it's, I mean, like I've said before, this is kind of more or less a civil rights issue. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that in like a Martin Luther King kind of way, but it is about a person's civil rights. I mean, you know, and they want to erode that by making up these laws, and the club that these people are supporting and can no longer go to the game and feel safe are doing nothing to help them, which is
that's wrong.
Which is
I mean that's wrong. I mean, as Paul says, if it's hard for me because I'm sitting 3,500 miles away. I can assure you, and I'm telling you the God's honest truth, into the Paul quickly there, I'd be behind you 100% and out fighting for you. I would. I really would, and I mean that sincerely.
There you go, Tam.
There you go.
So well,
sorry to interrupt there. I just wanted to say, backing up Tam there. I mean, I'm not as far away as him, but down here in Englandshire, I've taken pals to the game, and every single one of them has said, the Green Brigade has made that game. They've never seen anything like it. These are boys that are like Man United season ticket holders, Liverpool season ticket holders, Everton and that, and they don't see anything like it, and they're amazed by it, and they just want to say, Andy, when can we go back up again? When are you going to get us tickets for the game again? I want to see that Green Brigade again. To freeze them out is just it's just shocking.
It makes no
sense. Totally agree, mate. Totally agree.
Makes no sense.
So we'll still get Paul on. So tell us again about the single, Paul.
So I mean, obviously, we're looking to release it next Sunday. I think even over in America, even if it won't directly affect the sales in the UK to get it in the top 40, I think even if the world, because it's supposed to so well travel. Yeah. The money from that will still go into the legal fund to help these guys, to help pay for their lawyers' fees and stuff like that, especially with the way that legal aid has been cut with the Tory government at the minute. So I would still urge people to get the word out, be it Cam or whoever, to the groups in North America and anywhere else, to get them downloading this song, because we need to do something to try and fight this both in the courts and in terms of the publicity over it.
Yeah, and any tools possible whatsoever to make to make noise.
Paul, if you can send me a link to where I can get this, and I'll send it to every single Tim in North America. I can do that in one go. So if you want to send me the link to where they can download it, I will put it out to every single club in North America.
There you go. We'll get this number one. Tell you.
We'll get that done. So Paul, if you obviously give it to us, Paul Larkin, you'll have Tam's details, won't you?
Sorry, that's no problem.
Aye, so Paul for the GB, you send it to Paul or send it to me on to Paul Larkin, and then we'll get it over to Tam, and then we'll get across all the North American Celtic supporters clubs as well.
I'll get it to everybody.
Go through it again. So it's coming out Sunday, February 8th. Right?
Well, February the 9th, the original statement was a wee bit off. February the 9th.
February 9th.
That's when the charts are counted from Sunday.
And what's it under on iTunes if somebody kind of Googles it?
Well, it'll be under the Irish Brigade and the Order of Honour, but the main logo, for example, will be the Fans Against Criminalisation logo.
So it's Irish Brigade, Order of Honour.
But make sure you wait till the link's out first, because you could maybe probably download it at the minute and it would just be the old version, but it's going to be the same version, but it'll not have the link to the Fans Against Criminalisation, so wait till the links get published.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as I'm aware, the Irish Brigade stuff isn't currently on iTunes.
Alright, okay.
But, as of Sunday, we'll have a link anyway, and we'll pass it around and hopefully we'll start downloading it.
Yeah.
Super.
Absolutely.
Make a dent on this.
Yeah. So I take it, Paul, you're going to the meeting on Wednesday night?
I'll be there, yeah, definitely.
I'll be there myself. So next week, for next week's show...
You're there Wednesday night, guys, I don't mean to interrupt you. If you're there on Wednesday night, say hello to Jackie. Go and give a shout out to Jackie Meehan, he'll be there.
Okay, mate. So, as I say, we'll get Jeanette on the show next week. Jeanette's promised us she'll come on next week, so she'll be chairing the meeting on Wednesday night. So we'll get a rundown of everything that's been decided and any communications that's gone to Celtic and things like that. So I'm sure Jeanette will come on next week and let us know the outcome of the meeting for those that can't make it along. But if MD in the vicinity and you can make it along to the social club, 7 o'clock Wednesday night up the stairs, and it'll be well worth your while, and it's very interesting stuff and real good debate for good Celtic supporters. So it's all positive, so
exactly.
Get along and support it.
Super.
Now get tore in. If you go to the meeting, get tore in. Don't hold back.
Aye, don't worry, mate.
Right, listen, we'll wrap this up. I'm going to go to bed.
I need to go for dance lessons now, boys. So
here, are you living in Dirty Dancing? Is that what this is?
Florida.
I done that on Saturday night, but I'm going to get lessons how to do it better.
You're like, you remember that film Cocoon? That was something like you.
You must be good.
Right.
That's a good one. I was there on Saturday night.
Right, so that's the end of the show. I want to thank Tom. I want to thank Andy, is it? Yeah.
Andy, aye.
Andy. I want to thank Paul. Paul, thanks very much for coming on, mate. Hopefully we'll this is going to work. This is going to happen, and we'll all be. I'll go on top of the pops. I mean, I'll do it. I'll be that soldier.
Go to the top of the pops with an Alex Salmon t-shirt. That'd be good.
So
thank you for having me, guys. By the way,
no problem, Andy. Call anytime.
You make my journeys to work an absolute pleasure. You know, it's like sitting in the pub with a bunch of your mates and that, just listening into you all talking Celtic. Is you know, it's to a boy that's living in the north of England. It's brilliant.
You trying to say
better than turning around and saying it's like sitting in the pub listening to all your pals talking a lot of shit.
No, I was going to say, Andy's trying to say we all sound pigs. Right, anyway, listen, Jason, Paul, just say goodbye.
Right, so Paul, thanks a lot for coming on, mate.
God bless, good luck and keep
up.
Take it easy, Tom. Cheers, mate.
I just want to say thanks to Paul for the Green Brigade to come on. That was brilliant, mate, and thanks for putting your time. Thanks for everything you've done for the fans against criminalisation, because I know it's a hell of a lot of work, and Jeanette says you're one of the front runners and the guy that runs with us. So, as I say, on behalf of the Celtic support, thanks for all the work you're doing, mate, and more power to you.
No problem at all, mate. It's a pleasure. Thanks very much for having me on. Hopefully all your listeners will start downloading as of next Sunday.
Yep, definitely. Okay, guys.
Listen, right here, and of course, it makes complete sense to just play it with the Roll of Honour. So, folks, hail, take it easy. Talk to you next week.
Hail.
Read the Roll of Honour for Ireland's bravest men. We must be united in memory of the 10. England, you're a monster. Don't think that you have won. We will never be defeated while Ireland has such sons. The dreary H-block cages where brave young Irishmen lay, hungering for justice while their young lives ebbed away, for the rights of Irish soldiers to flee their native land. They stood beside their leader, the gallant Bobby Sands. Read the Roll of Honour for Ireland's bravest men. We must be united in memory of the 10. England, you're a monster. Don't think that you have won. We will never be defeated while Ireland has such sons. Francis Hughes and Old Balahi, Ray McCreesh from Armagh Hills, in the narrow streets of Derry, they miss O'Hara still. They so proudly gave their young lives to break Britannia's hold. Their names shall be remembered as history unfolds. Through the war-torn streets of Ulster, the black flags that proudly wave to salute the Irish martyrs, the bravest of the brave. Joe MacDonald, Martin Horson, Kevin Lynch, Kieran Doherty. They gave their lives for freedom with bravest men. We must be united in memory of the 10. England, you're a monster. Don't think that you have won. We will never be defeated while Ireland has its sons. Michael Devine from Derry, you were the last to die. When your 9 brave companions with the martyrs they did lie, your souls cry out, remember, our deaths were not in vain. You fought to make our homeland a nation once again. Read the roll of honour for Ireland's bravest men. We must be united in memory of the 10. England, you're a monster. Don't think that you have won. We will never be defeated while